There is a prophecy that one day I will be ready before the timer runs out. Give me a second. We're almost there. We can do this. I know we can. Start the music up. Well, hello there. Why can't I hear anything from the music? I may... Oh, it's just really quiet music. Okay, we'll leave it as is for now. Okay, everybody. How's it going? I see that we've already got here Scorpio Gaming, Zorbeltus, welcome. Reinhardt, I used to play so much Overwatch, Pandigan, and Chromatic Schnitzel, and somewhere along the line E-Dragon came in. Oh, I'm just joking, I'm messing with you, bro. You're actually up pretty late. We have been discussing numbers. Yes, I had happened to notice that whilst I was setting up today. And I was only probably about 3 seconds late. Is that how long it was? It was about something about that sort of time. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm always so incredibly late. First stream, but I have to get off in like 10 minutes. Oh, damn. Well, that's poopy. Don't interrupt you. Oh, well. About 7 seconds? Oh, yeah, nah, it's nothing. It's going pretty well then, I reckon. But I'm pretty sure now I've got my computer sorted. I switched over to some much better RAM, and so far it's actually done a really good job. I've not had a single issue in about 8 hours, approximately, is how long this new RAM has been on my computer. A whole new 32 gigabytes of it. Alright. You see, like, 2 good cars. I see a few good cars. So there's a little hidden F1 car at the back here that is quite over-engineered. There's this cool-looking Porsche, old-school 911 sort of looking thing with, maybe not the right headlights. This one seemed to get a lot of attention in my Discord. This one, I love this body. It just looks so cool. So I'm excited to see what that does. And then this one is a bit of a standout as a bit of a looker. But since that Formula 1 car seemed to have garnered such a lot of attention over on the BeamNG repository, I thought, you know what, we'll put that one in the thumbnail, get some people coming along and joining us. F1 car, I want the F1 car files. They are in... Well, there's a link to it in my Discord, but it is on the BeamNG repository. Let's have a quick look. Hold on. The name of the car is the EMG Viking 2021. So if you want... That was the wrong button. Alt U, not Windows key U. Yeah, if you want that Formula 1 car, you'll be able to try it out yourself. What is... Oh, God, okay. Controls are not set up. I mean, we got pretty close to being ready today. But yeah, let's first have a look at this Alfa Romeo looking car. This car looks pretty sick. Don't you think? I mean, sure, the body does a lot of the work, but they've also got extra hidden details. Like, they've put a radiator in here. It is a flat 6, though. But twin 4-barrel carburetors is pretty cool, I must admit. And the, like, half-hidden, half-covered headlights. Mwah, so good. Speedrun stream? You got... That's probably just you, because you want to go to bed at a reasonable time. And for you, it's 11:34 p.m. I know that, because it's 11:34 p.m. for me. Damn, 32 gigs, that's some overspending right there, kinda. No. Quite often I'll be using 32 gigs when I'm doing a lot of stuff and editing. So, like, right now, like, I'm only running a little bit of stuff. I'm already at 12.5 gigs. And this is light usage for me. I don't have automation open in the background. I'm not recording, I'm not editing. My photo editor is open, so we can close that off. And that drops it down to pretty much no difference. So 32 gigs is quite consumable by me, especially if I was to play a game like Elite Dangerous where there's got like memory leak after memory leak. Yeah, that's where 32 gigs comes in handy, which is when I first upgraded to 32 gigs. Even though I actually more needed it for editing, it's just I couldn't justify it for just one thing, but that was a long time ago and I just replaced it with exactly the same. The exact one on the scene? Is that there? You mean this one? Or do you mean this one? Because this one's also in the BeamNG, sorry, not BeamNG repository, in my Discord. We'll be going over them individually though. You'll be able to see it eventually. Is that a GTV6? It looks a little bit like a GTV6. I think it's like an early model pre that. Reliability go sheet because of that? Yeah, fair enough. I said over specking. Oh, spending. My bad. Bloody auto corrupt. That's meant to be auto correct. I love it. There was like, oh sorry, there was a lot of cars submitted in June, July it seems. Seems like there's still around 20 cars after this stream before this girl's submission. Oh, you've got a car coming up. Okay. Pretty cool. I had 16 gigs for almost a decade and it's never been an issue. For me, it's been an issue plenty of times. Editing is a hog if you're doing like really intensive editing. So my edits may not seem particularly impressive, but that's because I've hidden so much of the editing that you just don't see it. There's a lot of work that goes into my videos. But also games with memory leaks, as I mentioned. Well, I think some of the Batman games had massive memory leaks, but Elite Dangerous had lots of ginormous memory leaks, and I loved that game once I got over the shitty controls and I started using it in VR. Elite Dangerous in VR is one of the best games out there. Unfortunately, though, the game is lacking in content, so it's the best game out there for a very short amount of time, so like 10 hours of gameplay. Then it starts to repeat and become a bit monotonous. Been a while since you played Elite Dangerous? Yeah. I find the game quite unplayable without VR. It's just absolutely horrendous. Controls are terrible, even with a proper HOTAS controller. The game's just pretty hot garbage. But in VR, you can like turn your head, you can look around, and you can get spatial awareness. You can always be orientated correctly. It just works so much better. Welcome, Thomas. And I don't believe I've said hello to you yet. Eshan Deveshra. Welcome. And welcome, Rick Bakers. How's it going? Elite Dangerous is spectacular? Sure. Well, I have to go now. Good night, guys. We'll definitely watch the VOD tomorrow. Okay, I'll try to make it 16 hours long for you then. So then you'll be like, I wish I hadn't said that. I'm joking. I'm definitely not going to be streaming for that long. Oh, dear. Until you realize it's the same repeat stuff. Well, yeah. It's fetch quest or delivery quest. That's the entire game. Unfortunately, it becomes a bit like a cookie clicker situation where you do a thing, you upgrade, you do things, you upgrade, yeah, and you just get more as you keep going. It's, yeah. But until you get bored of it, it is such a good game in VR. Forza Horizon 5 also seems to have a memory leak after 2/3 of an hour. After 2/3 hour of playing, I need to restart the game. Oh, really? That bad? I've not really had an issue, but then again, I have 32 gigabytes of RAM, so I've not really tested that. Yeah, not tried that one out yet. Hey! How's it going? Aero Racer! How's it going? Just what I need after pulling an all-nighter at school. Why were you all night at school? See, all-nighter at university, that makes sense. That I did a few times. But at school? Oh, sure. You could just pronounce me Eshawn. Okay then, I'll pronounce you Eshawn. Very good, darling. I mean, 2 to 3 hours. Oh, I get you. You're not meant to use a / because that's a divisive or a fraction. You're meant to have a dash instead. Elite Dangerous, aka Paintine Mining. You know what, actually, I've never really bothered to do mining in Elite Dangerous. So, actually, no, I have. I was doing some mining, I got attacked by some pirates, and this is actually the last time I ever played. They cracked my windshield, and I was making it back to a space station that was nearby. I'd finally gotten there, I was in it a couple of minutes, and I thought that the windshield would break, because I didn't have much money at the time, because I spent it all on this brand new mining machine. And I thought, you know what, the machine will, the windshield will just break, I'll die, but the ship will stay alive or whatever, and that won't cost me a lot. But the windshield breaking blows up the entire ship, and you have to spend all your money on repairing it. So that's kind of where I just left the game and went, you know what, nah, I'm done with this game. What cars are we up to now? These. We'll go over them. Suddenly I'm tempted to make a microwave in automation, and I have no idea why. Sure. I mean, my microwave did just die in real life, and I had to replace it. That was fairly expensive. You can just call me if the X doesn't help. Okay, I'll just call you Also, you can call me Dawn. I haven't changed it yet because I'm gonna call people what I see written in their names, by the way. I am terrible at remembering things. So telling me to call you something that is not written there, or if you have a name in YouTube that's different from what I see in Discord, I'm not gonna be able to put 2 and 2 together. I'm gonna make that mistake all the time. So you can say whatever you want, but I'm going to read what's written in my really bad dyslexic way. I'm in college for design. Figuring out the final details of my design takes quite some time, so I stayed to try to finish. Okay then. I'm assuming by college you mean university. I don't know why in America college is only university, but everywhere else in the world, college just means... it's just another term for an educational institution. Like, I went to Trinity College from year 1 to year 10. Or grade 1 to grade 10 if you're in America. Once again, that's also a thing that's different for Americans. Come on, lol? Sure. Come on, what? I know how that feels, and I'll refer you to you as Sid, Lord of the Flame. Okay. I mean, if you did it easier to... Ishan sounds fine. Or Ishan. Anyway, let's have a look at the first car. We've been putting it off for a while now. Now, I'm noticing that there's some weird caps on the tops of... Let's just slowly move in here. You know, that's designed. Okay. That's pretty cool. So they've not just put a bumper on. They've not just done a bumper and an extra little bit. But they've done a bumper and extra little bit and then put caps on both bits of the bumper. So they've gone to a lot of effort here. Or is that just a weird reflection? That's just a weird reflection. That's actually a very strange reflection. Okay, so there is no caps on top. That was just... yeah, the weird reflections. I wish this had an infinite white roof. That would make things so much better for doing this, like, intro part. I should maybe make my own map. I am into making my own maps now. These have just... haven't just been placed. They've been fitted specifically. Got a cool looking number plate. I'm not sure what that is. Is that No, I mean Dutch? With like a mountain in the middle? I'm not sure. Anyway, down the side it's fairly plain. We have a little bit of a vent here. I can see that they've tried to get something to fit the shape here, but none of these shapes you can really fit in an old school sort of vent. So I see where that's failed, and unfortunately I would call that a bit of a fail. Then in the back here, that looks pretty awesome. Let's go up a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I do like this. The exhausts, yeah, they look alright. They look alright. They've got a contiguous design from front to back with a bumper at least. Music is a bit loud. Alright, I'll turn the music down. Alright, how's that? I'll just turn my own headset up, because I realized that that was turned down. I do like this. So they've got this, like, cool split in the rear area, which is a painted rear area, and then they've got the split of the taillights along that line. That's pretty good. Well done. Lots of little details have been done on this car. Then we got some cool wheels. We don't have alloy wheels in here. We actually have proper mag wheels, which I think shows that they've put some thought into the wheel choices here. And they've got the proper sort of door handles that you might see in the era. Proper sort of mirrors. Proper sort of windshield wipe. Whoa. Proper sort of windshield wipers there. Got some squirters there and some little vents here. They've got a lot of little detail, and I am very appreciative of that. Like, the eyelid on the lights with the grates across it. Oh, strikes, whatever you want to call it. And then in the interior, oh god, is that carbon fiber? Also, that's back to front. Anybody spot that? Oh, they were doing so well. They went from like a 9 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10. Because their gear lever is 1, made out of carbon fiber, and 2, back to front. Oh, big fail! Fail! Check brakes? I'll check brakes in a second. As a Dutch person, I can confirm that isn't the Dutch license plate. Okay then, I have no idea what it is. I would assume that it's pre-European Union number plate. God, that sounds like vaping, doesn't it, on a microphone? I should probably mute during that. Anyway. So what do we have here for dash? I don't see any dials that have numbers on them. That's unfortunate. Let's turn the engine on. None of the dials move? Okay, fair enough. Whatever. I just wanted to see whether they gone that full extra step, because I believe this was given to me as a .zip, not as a .car. So you can do those sorts of things, but it's time consuming is the thing. Once you figure it out, it's time consuming. Now, no door cards, but fair enough. This was probably delivered before door car mods were in. I would do it sometimes by just faking it, but not all the time. What I have a problem with is the position of the steering wheel. Where's the steering column? Where's the indicators? All that sort of stuff. Steering wheel should probably be about here. Usually mid-thighs to towards the knee sort of areas where the steering wheel should be. But this is like directly over the knees. So you're going to have to be reaching quite forwards for the steering wheel. Aside from that, carbon fiber again. Come on. Really? The rest of it looks pretty decent. We've got a handlebar here. That's pretty cool. How many cars already watch now? What? Chen, this is the first car. I think that's what you're asking. Not entirely sure. You think the weave is to give it texture? Sure. There I could understand it, but here it looks like really garbage for carbon fiber. I can kind of see what you mean, though. There's a reason for it that I haven't noticed? White drink bottle? Yeah, it's just a bottle that I picked up at the grocery store. Okay, Rick. With splitters and diffusers that fall off, there are just some dodgy mods that don't attach properly. I'd suggest using fake ones and then putting real wings and just make them invisible or hide them inside the body. Just a little bit higher so then they don't scrape on the ground. I'm actually about to make a video this week that goes into some tips and tricks into making cars. Gear stick is backwards though? Yeah, fair enough. Alright, let's go into the back here. We've got a cool kind of center console, though I would have thought that back in the day, they wouldn't have thought people are like, oh no, I can't have a bench seat in the back, that's not cool enough. They probably would have had 3 seats in the back. That doesn't look like it's meant to be even slightly like that's a 3rd seat there. Then we've got a, like, I'm assuming this is meant to be some sort of wooden rack here for the back. Unfortunately, though, I'm not sure if it's meant to be hollow underneath. Maybe it is? But I'm looking at this and thinking that it's meant to be like a flat material to cover it up, and then they just didn't want a flat material, so they'd put the wooden slats on there to make it look like something like a boat or like a basket or something like that. What I'm getting a little bit weirded out by is the fact that there's these black shapes poking through. Not entirely sure what that's all about. Is this a whole bunch of like individual things? Let's control end this. No. What is this? Wait, hold on. I think this is a mod fixture that they just flattened out. Okay, fair enough. That's probably a smart way of doing it. I personally would have just done that all with patchwork and then had like a whole bazillion little things down there. Kind of like I did with that boat car video. Remember that one? Yeah. Ugh. Welcome, Kim Blair. How's it going? Just because I saw the stream already start about a half hour. Yeah, no, it takes a little while for me to get going. I'm gonna go get myself some cheese and some crackers or something, sure. So I'll ask that question. Yeah, we're on to the second car now. So, this one is a very, very basic sort of design. So we're gonna see how the rest of the car goes, but for now, we've got an okay sort of design. Unfortunately, there's not a contiguous join between here and here. I probably, and I have done this before, would have made this bigger and wider and actually go into here, make this the top layer, and then use patchwork, and then do an angled inwards bit, so then it looks like it's fitting the design of the other body part on the car. I think it looks pretty good though, when done properly, though not 100%. Here it just looks a bit basic, but at least they've got the headlights looking not so bad. That is a bit of a tricky thing I'm finding with newer cars. I don't like to make custom lights, but I generally find that I have to. But if I had that on there, I wouldn't be upset with that. Now down the side, it is a very basic design. We do have a minuscule, tiny little badgelet there. Coming around to the back. Now the back tail lights, those look really bad. This doesn't really seem to fit either. This fits quite nicely though by the looks of it. But yeah, it's all a little bit bland, and those taillights do look unfortunately not fantastic. We do have an interior and a sunroof though, so let's go in and have a look. This is where they spent the time. They've got a weird kind of custom armrest that comes up, and I can see that they're using what's meant to be, I believe, a muffler type 3D fixture. Yeah, I've only ever used that for mufflers, never for anything like this. Got a gated shift, some fancy dials there. That's upside down, but okay, there was probably a reason for that. I think that's because it just kind of fits the design a little bit better. As long as you don't look at the things themselves. They've unfortunately not set colors, so a lot of the things have come out white. Then in the back, we have no back seats. So I'm guessing that this doesn't have back seats. Is it because of the wheel wells? Or is it because there's an engine back here. Let's have a look. There's no engine back here. We do have one piston double wishbone rear suspension. Then in the front, oh, 3 pistons in the front. That seems like it's going to be hugely imbalanced, but we'll give it a try anyway. And then we got some McPherson strut with a, is that a 6-cylinder? 5-cylinder turbo engine. Dual cam. Twin cam. Dual overhead cam. That's the one. I swear my brain works. Welcome, Oscar Jamama. How's it going? I remember a lot of people had wooden grates over their trunks in the late 80s, early 90s, probably before that even, but I was too young to remember it then. Yeah, I think that's more of an American thing. Didn't really see a lot of wood trimming on things like that. Usually only on like dash paneling did you ever see wood in Australia for cars. Not just Australian-made cars, but like a lot of European cars would have woods of some sort, if not fake wood. Still, that's the sort of thing. Maybe update tomorrow. Interesting. That's going to throw a lot of these cards out of the window. And then we'll start the new system for submitting. To be honest, you can't get into Phil's stream 1.5 hour late. Oh, sorry. You can get into my stream 1.5 hour and still catch the intro. Thanks, Crownless. But people seem to like it, so I dwell on it a little bit longer, and then I find the chatting part a lot more fun. The interior looks pretty nice in this one. It even has a remote control. I mean, I wouldn't call it a remote control, but I did like the look of it. That is a minuscule turbo. Really? I didn't think so. I think it just looked like a normal sort of turbo. Yeah, no, that looks... like, the engine looks pretty big. But I think that turbo is like a regular size turbo. It's not a race turbo by any means. But yeah. Unless it was a small engine, then you might call it a race turbo. I am Swede, though. Oh. Okay. I grew up with Volvos and I love Volvos. I have one in my shed right now that I'm working on. That's about as much as I can go into that. Welcome, Jumbo Jacob. How's it going, bro? Also, I believe most of them were aftermarket. Oh, that's weird. Okay, then. Yeah, that I would have no idea about. Bab turbo compared to the engine? Not really. That's a fairly common sort of thing. Turbos generally aren't ginormous. It's just we get used to them, seeing them in automation when we're trying to make our high-powered vehicles. All right. This is not a real wing. This is, what, the third car we're looking at? So that's going to be a problem. I think I saw this one when I was placing it. Oh, no, this is one that I exported from automation. And then we've also got a fake wing here. The only real error we have is right here by the looks of it. So, I am a little concerned that this vehicle may not be the best handling vehicle. If we go down underneath, we can see that it's got fairly large front tires and no front drive. So it is just rear-wheel drive, east-west, on a transverse-mounted engine. So this car has a lot of weight to the rear. It's distributed predominantly in the rear. And the front tires are not much narrower than the rear tires. So I'm concerned that this thing is going to understeer a lot. And oversteer... sorry. Concerned that this thing is going to oversteer a lot. Not understeer, my bad. But yeah, so no interior. It's a fairly basic design. They haven't gone like supercar sorts of intake amounts. They do have some expulsion for the air to go through. And you might say that some expulsion comes out of there. Nothing here on the side. A little bit of air intake here. You're not going to get a lot of use out of that though. Then in the back we've got a lot of expulsion of air. But from where? Is it sucking it in from underneath? But you've got a diffuser here. That's not a real aero device, by the way. Phil, an advice. When you look the brakes, look both sides. Sometimes there are more pistons from one to the other side? Yeah, I doubt that as well. Welcome, Jalnik Kirahama. How's it going? Volvo Amazon with B18 engine, or what Volvo do you have? Okay, so I have a 740 with a 16 valve B234F. I have... Do I only have 2 Volvos now? Okay, and the other one is my project car, which is a Volvo 360 GLT that I'm putting an AQ171B into. So, fun times ahead for that one. Welcome, Came344. How's it going, bro? What I miss? 2 cars and kind of the third one. Okay, so let's have a look at the power plant on this. I do like the look of this engine. That looks pretty schmexy. I will say, that is a good-looking engine. I love this sort of chromey-eyes sort of green top. I do like green as a color. Green is a fluorescent green, some of my favorite colors of all time. Doesn't always work on cars, but I do really like it. Then we've got a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with race trumpets. This thing is probably going to sound pretty good. As for handling, I get the feeling, sorry, it might be a bit of a dog, but it does have low power, so at least it won't power oversteer at the same time. We shall see when we get around to it. Okay. This car now. This one, no. It was that one. This one looked pretty weird. That is a fairly large protruding bonnet bulge. Yeah. I think it's a little too big, in my opinion, but that's really only my opinion. Then we have a big 6-cylinder turbo engine. Is that mechanical fuel injection? No. Wait. It might be mechanical fuel injection. How would I find out on this? So hard to tell. Go into the intercooler, out of the intercooler, into the turbo, come out through there. Is that... I think I might have to give up on this. I can't tell by just looking at it whether this is mechanical, but I don't think it is mechanical. Maybe it is. I don't know. But anyway, we've got a single overhead cam. I believe this is overhead cam, not direct acting overhead cam. Interesting. Usually people go either direct acting overhead cam or push rod, and then straight to dual cam or twin cam. I do like this. We got an all drive setup, so that's weird. With double wishbone suspension, 2 piston brakes. Let's have a look side to side just to make sure. No, I'm pretty sure I've never seen asymmetrical piston brakes before. Then we got just drum brakes in the back on a leaf spring suspension. What an eclectic mix in a solid axle as well. That is... Some weird choices have been made. Probably not what I would have done. Is there many... Because this is... They say it's a 4x4, not an all-wheel drive. Is there many 4x4s that have double wishbone on the front and solid in the rear? But not just solid in the rear, but solid leaf in the rear. I don't think that would have been particularly common. I'd love to see an IRL from Phil. There has been one, but if you want to watch an old channel, which I will be using in the future, I have another channel which I've not used in quite a while. That's not right. Channel. Nope. Channel. Can I even... Here we go. Aussie Phil, 13 subscribers. I've subscribed to it myself. So 12 subscribers. Here's a bunch of different videos. I used to do... I tried out some live streams. So these ones are live streams. These ones are actually like proper videos. Not sure about that one. Then I went into doing a Mega Squirt thing. If that's the sort of thing that you're interested in. I've got that there. But yeah, I've not used it in 2 years now. My God, I have really neglected that car a lot. It looks nice, this one. I do have some things that I really do like about it. Then there's some questionable choices that I'm a little unsold on. I think most have solid front and rear with spring. I don't know about spring because even still, there's a few vehicles that sell with leaf springs. Oh, wait, hold on. You say with spring. Sorry, I thought you meant coil spring. Thank you for showing me this. WK? Okay. The archives of Phil. Yes. I will enjoy Philman content. Okay, you can go ahead. You can enjoy that. I will go to that at some point, but when I properly start using that channel again is when I will... I'll like put posts on it on my Discord, and I'll put posts on YouTube, like community text posts, stuff like that. I'll put up pictures and link to it when I'm going to start using it again. Anyway, let's get back to this. So we have a cutout with a full-blown hitch in the back. I wonder if that's all functional as well. We might check that out. The exhaust is just a cutout, but okay. Not too bad. The wheels are proper mag wheels made of magnesium. It looks very intimidating. I don't like how that looks kind of like a an ugly pig nose here. Something like... I know, it looks kind of weird. But I am also noticing that this has like those stealth grill headlights sort of design thing where it pops out like that. That I think is pretty cool. That is a cool detail you put on there. Very much appreciating that. That looks weird. Then into an intercooler. What engine have we got in here? Oh, that's right, yeah. The 6 turbo. Judging by the age, it might actually be mechanical injection. Hard to tell. Then we have a full-blown interior with a massive center console. If you were concerned about the center console being so wide because of the way the automation makes the interior chassis kind of set up, you set it invisible, then you set it invisible in the J-beam. Otherwise, you end up with like this that is just huge. Then into the back, oh, we've got a proper bench seat, and that actually... looks like a good bench seat. They haven't just gone like 2 on either side mirrored and then exactly the same one in the middle. They've actually gone with a good looking bench seat there. Very well done. Then we've got... hold on. Let's get down low. What the hell? Is this meant to be extra seats in the back? I think that's meant to be extra seats in the back so you can take like a full like camping trip with you. Like a whole full family outing. We got dials for AC in the back, though no leg room for the person there that wanted to sit there then. Maybe that's not actually meant to be that. The seat is pretty high, I'm noticing. Then we have... oh. Okay, yeah, so now that driver's seat and the passenger seat subsequently probably should have been lower and further forwards. Because currently... you're having to, like, get your hands between your knees to be able to reach the steering wheel. That is way too low and way too far away from the driver's position. Then, yeah, we got some extra switches and dials, got some AC, got a radio, got a handbrake on the wrong side. Is that an American thing? Do they keep it on that side? I don't know. Weird. But we still have dials on this side as well. And then, yeah, speaker down there. They've got a lot of attention to detail. Unfortunately, they got that wrong, though. That is in the wrong place. Look like a Mercedes-Benz car? I don't know about that. I'll keep an eye out for that. Don't you have that channel in the channel list on this channel? I don't know. Let's have a look. Channels. No, I don't think I do. So this is just like a list of all the subscription and then the people which I collab with and stuff like that here, which I think there's a few people missing from this list, so I'll have to go and re-edit that list. Yeah, anyway, that's the car list for today. All right, this is a driver side center console. It's like they've weirdly mirrored it, which I'm unsure as to why they've done that. I don't think I agree with that design choice. But they've gone with a dash, which I've not seen anybody use before. Maybe it's just the coloring. That does look pretty cool. I do like. I wish I knew what these were. If that was any sort of thing, that would be cool. They've got the hazard light button there. I do like this. And a BMW? I could see a slight bit of like the BMW and Mercedes, but not really. It's a little too boxy, a little too grillish for that sort of thing. Currently around of a Ford Edsel with that tail imposing vertical grille. Oh, tall imposing vertical. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, and maybe. Tall lights look Mercedes inspired, but the front looks Beamer inspired. I don't know. The back looks like American Japanese sort of style. The front, I don't know. Like, I get why you say Mercedes because of like the bonnet lines that come down to have the big grille there, but I don't think so. It just doesn't look it like that. Also, I don't really, I still don't agree with those little lights down there. You have a snack? Good. Okay. Next car, the Formula 1 car. There is quite a bit of detail here. I do not know if this is one mod body or a bunch of different fixtures. That I recognize as a bonnet fixture from the scoop section. This is a mod scoop, I believe. So yeah, this is all placed with 3D parts. This is not something that's just been plopped down. So I know that there is a mod fixture, which is a Formula 1 body, and that is not this. So props. They've tried to fix the suspension not reaching issue. I can see what they've done there. Interesting. Doesn't get past me though. Then we have probably a flat plane. No, sorry, this is a V6, not a V8. Well, we have a twin turbo V6. I wonder if it's like their little minuscule Formula 1 engine that it's meant to be in modern days, which is what, a 1.3 or something like that? What is a modern F1 again? I forget. Or is it 600cc? I'm really drawing a blank on what the modern engines are. Look up BMW and Mercedes-Benz from the 80s. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's a Volvo with a BMW grille. Not quite. It looks like a Bentley. No, I would have said that it looks a little bit more Rolls-Royce-ish. Because the Rolls-Royce had like the chrome grille that was very boxy that went up and lipped around on a like the bit that comes down on the hood like that on the front. 1.6? Ah, yes, good, okay. He's using that F1 mod body? He is not. This is all 3D fixtures that they've placed around. 1.6 hybrid now? Oh, they're hybrid nowadays. Anyway, yeah, they've also put in like this completely custom halo system here. That is fantastic. This is all 3D parts. That is very well done. What is that meant to be? What on earth? Is that symmetrical or is that asymmetrical? No, that's symmetrical. I'm unclear what that's meant to be. I don't know what those... Because I see what it is. It's kind of like a squashed and flattened out tube. Not sure what that's meant to be. Bring back the V10s. It's not a 240 body. I grew up with Volvo 240s. So, the one major thing that gives it away that it's not a 240 body is, other than the fact that this is not a smooth bend, that is actually quite a sharp bend, is Volvos come down on the side, and then they have quite a Swedish bulge that comes out. So kind of, really the way you can think about it is Volvo is in two shapes. You got the main body shape, which is mostly a soft rounded box, and then very separately the roof of the car with the pillars and everything comes out of it as a its own shape. This is not a Volvo 240 body. I know that. Once again, I grew up with them. I've done a lot of work on them. These are indeed 3D fixtures? Yes. Hello with a windshield. Oh, they do have a halo. I'm so dumb. Anyway, with a I didn't notice that they had a windshield. Do the windshields not need to be vertical? I don't know. It's been a while. I haven't looked at a windshield on a Formula 1 car in a long time. Then they've got a moose head here, I'm assuming, or a deer or something. Whatever. Maybe it's a doe? A deer? A female deer. EMG. Interesting. Lots and lots of detail in here. Very much appreciated. Very well done from, I believe this was Tom. Let me have a look. No, Ben. The Krysic Ben. So, really interesting. They got a rear diffuser down here, which has a habit of scraping and falling off. So hopefully they've fixed that. Oh, they've got two of them, and then they've got an exhaust bulge in there in the middle. Interesting. Nicely done. Lots of attention to detail. A chassis frame back here. Usually, though, on these sorts of cars, the engine is entirely covered up, predominantly for aerodynamic reasons. So that's not entirely accurate, but I don't care. That is a good-looking car. There is also different versions of the car, so we'll have a look at that in a minute as well, when we bring the car out to test. I'll also do like the multi-element front wing, though it looks as if they haven't quite realized what the multi-element wings are nowadays. They're not just like lots of extra wings to add more downforce. What they're doing is what's called a multi-element wing. So as you've got like the one wing there, so it's got like the big bulbous bit at the beginning and then it comes to a point at the end. If you have that too much of an angle, you'll start to create stall angle, which means that the air will separate from the wing, not giving you as much downforce. So what you do is you have it at less of an angle, and then you allow a little bit of air through there, and then you have another wing on top, which would be at a much higher angle, which will still keep pulling this air up, but with a little bit of extra air added into it, so then it will not detach the airflow, giving increased downforce in a small area. Really well done. And this is a really incredible like a workaround that Formula cars have come around to get around regulations on certain things when it comes around to this. So the multi-element wing is not out of necessity. The multi-element wing is purely out of them trying to get around limitations set by rule makers. Still pretty cool, though. I've made 2 cars using 3D fixtures, and this is very well made. It is. I remember the first one I made for a video. That I liked a lot. This has more detail, though. The F1 mod body resembles the 1997-2004 era. This is not a mod body, if that's what you're getting at. You have it under the Halo lining? What? 1998 Bentley Continental R. That? I don't know about that. Maybe. The wings on F1 car nowadays primal? Are primarily used for channeling turbulent air. There is the new rounded wing rule, which means that you can't have flat ends to wings with end plates, and that is to reduce turbulent air. That's not good for the car itself, but the cars behind. But still, the multi-element is to create downforce. The more overhang you have with downforce as well, the better your car is going to be in a straight line. Because your car will arch and you'll lose downforce at high speed, which is what they want. Damn phone keyboard decides to send messages prematurely. Sure, okay, fair enough. Then we've got somebody using my Lotus body. And what have they got down here? They've got something. Is that meant to be a headlight? I think that's meant to be a headlight of some sort. Not my best work here, I must admit, but that's a bit weird, what they've done there. Pushrod suspension, all-wheel drive, minuscule front brake. Oh my god. So, that might cause a problem. Really weird rims, then a ginormous engine. Huge! Is that the full 16? Can I get a look in here? Oh god, this is hard to look at. Alright, let's have a look from here. They've done that weird thing where the automation engine looks weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, no, it's just a V12. I should have also been able to tell that by the fact that it's not 90 degrees. It is 60 degrees. Big injected? Is that is normal injection? That is not mechanical injection. Yeah, so some weird decisions. So they've got what looks to be modern running gear with pushrod suspension, but then they've got overhead cams? Sure. Weird choices. Then once again, minuscule brakes in the rear, and we got pushrod again. This is turbo, correct? Yeah, that's right. The turbos stick out of the side. God, that is ginormous. Now, they gave this to me as a dot car. They should have given this to me as a dot zip. But I knew what they were trying to do, and I just quickly removed the chassis for them. So then when it got over to BeamNG, I didn't have an ugly chassis in there. Please, dot zips only. And in the future, they will be dot zips only. The 2022 regulations, yeah. What? Oh, yeah, the rounded wings. Cyclops car? Yeah, a little bit. With that single headlight in the front. Pretty funny. Those brakes are terrifying. Yeah, I'm very worried that they're going to cook immediately. I which F1 drive, he born in open family to go Switzerland, uses and listen for Liechtenstein, why I don't know, and retire from F1 and move to Thailand to become a monk. Please rewrite that with better English and grammar, please. What is this song? Let's skip to the next one. That's weird. Alright. I bet the V12 car will break. I get the feeling it's going to have problems as well. I also get the feeling that I have not tested this car because it was given to me as a dot car and not as a dot zip. I want to school from the UK. Oh, we went to... So many mistakes in what you've written. Anyway, this is going to be probably a very problematic car to drive. I do like this taillight with the fin sort of design though. I do appreciate that, and I think it looks really funky and cool. I don't have high hopes for it. I think this thing is going to be really problematic. The only way this could have been worse is if they had like 3 piston brakes and then had them minuscule. Like that's the... that would have been atrocious. Then we've got whatever the hell that is. What? He saw a Jeff Rivel vid? Please start with that, Lotus. No, we're going to go in order so then I don't get them mixed up. I need my structure. I'm not good at typing. I kind of noticed. That was completely nonsensical. There was no grammar in there whatsoever. And lots of spelling mistakes. I just couldn't understand it. I'm dyslexic. So you have to, like, take a lot of care with sending me messages. Otherwise, I just won't understand. This is weird. I think I see what it is that they were trying to do. And it didn't work. With these lights, you can turn this trim, outer trim sort of blue bit. You can make that invisible. And I think that's what you were wanting to do. And then you probably turn it upside down so then it fits in there properly. As it stands, that's not right at all. The only front error by the looks of it is this wing here. There's no front splitter, which you would see on a car of this sort of design. That front windshield is like really far forward as well. I think maybe a little too far forward, or am I just hallucinating? Anyway, then we've got massive amounts of air evacuation there, but only a small amount of air intake here. Where's all this air coming from? That is a huge difference. Ginormous amounts of difference of airflow there. I don't understand this. I enjoy the look of the red car. That'll be coming up next. How do you turn with those massive tires? Problematically, I'd assume you'd have to get speed up and have power steering at the least. I don't have a degree in aerodynamics, but that... I'm assuming that's meant to be LMP car. Looks a bit brick. It does a bit, yes, I agree. You mean Frederick Ricky von Opel? Okay, sure. This looks like an LMP, but not good. I don't know how it's going to actually handle, but the design is incredibly questionable. The backhand, I would say, looks a lot better, except for the fact that the exhaust is a bit jacked up. I'm not sure about that. So we got the extra ventilation, which usually is just left open entirely. Usually the taillights are also really small, so then you can have lots of ventilation. Basically, the entire back of the tire will be ventilation to just allow that excess air turbulence under there to just leave the back of the car. We've got a big diffuser on here. I believe that is not a real diffuser, though. At least hope, because that'll probably scrape. Then in the back... Hold on, let's have a look. Yeah, a little bit lacky, but anyway. So, in the engine bay compartment, we have a flat 4, boxer 4 engine. Okay. With dual overhead cans, we've got twin turbos. Ginormous turbos as well, by the way. We have rear drive, push rod suspension. So, okay. Then looks, yeah, we have front drive out to single piston, minuscule brakes on push rod again. Let's have a look at the brakes on the rear. What do we got? Minuscule, tiny brakes. Oh, sorry. So, what you should do, and I think this is a bit of an issue people are having here. Generally try to have the biggest disc as possible, even if you have to go a little bit more comfort set, and then put up more cooling on the brake cooling sector to help deal with that. Or if you are going to have small ones, have lots of cooling to compensate. So comfortable brakes will cook, but small brakes will cook considerably worse. Especially if you have ABS, because if you don't lock up, the brakes are going to be working at pretty close to 100% efficiency and burn out in seconds. I'm just going to mute while I take a drink. I spilt on myself. Frick. Ignore that. Just gonna crouch down for now. Alright, bad animal people. I don't know about bad. The carb fixtures seem so flat. Yeah, there's not a lot of detail, but I forgive them. They've tried. I could see that they've thought about it at least a little bit. Though there has been some failures. Though I will admit that this is one of the first ones where they've got the shark fin that goes into a duckbill wing carrier for a proper wing holder. Except for the fact that they've got the end plates, which are not meant to be structural end plates, but they are made structural by the fact that they go into the chassis, I'm assuming. So that I would disagree with. That probably shouldn't be touching the body. But that's my limited thought process on that. That screams turbo lag? Yeah, I'm guessing. I very much am. Welcome, Flamesy. I believe we have a car of yours today. Can't remember which one it is, but I know that your name was down on the list. Philip is hydrating like a steam train. Yes, I have been playing a lot of Railroads Online. My brain took way too long to remember what that was. Anyway, next is this cool-looking Porsche 911-ish kind of body. I don't know about the headlights popping out. Personally, I could see that they've got a cutting in there. So, if this is something you want to do, use the patchwork cut out circular section, put that in there, and then you can have these lights in a little bit further at least. Then you could use the patchwork like inset bits, and you can create an inset and you can have them even further inside again. As it sits, unfortunately, this is a modern light that looks like a, what do you call it, LED sort of light. And then, yeah, you've got the body clipping into it, which is a bit unfortunate. But I also noticed that there's not much air intake on the front, which is very rear engine sort of design. Then on the rear, we've got the air expulsion. Okay, so this has probably no undercladding in this sort of era, and the air intake would have been from just underneath the car. And then they would have had the big mechanical fan on the air-cooled engine to chuck it out. I also like the nice looking wheels on there. Very cool. Very much am appreciative of that. Welcome, I am 3 Firebird. How's it going, bro? Yeah, let's pop onto the inside here. We have double wishbone suspension. Why? Why have they done this? God damn it. I've been talking about single piston big disc setups for a really long time. There is no excuse for them to have made this mistake. Especially considering on a car this old, they probably wouldn't have had 3 pistons at all. It probably would have just been a straight single piston. God damn it. That is so annoying. Then into the rear, we have what looks to be a flat 4, not a flat 6. Interesting. Very weird. Is that pushrod? Yeah. That's pushrod. Yeah. Okay, so we have a pushrod, flat 4, twin 4-barrel carburetors. They did have twin cams back in the day. I'm not sure what it is that they were trying to do. Were they trying to show a cheap car? Is that what this is meant to be demonstrating here? Then we've got double wishbone, 3 pistons in the back as well. God damn it! Why? Am I dry yet? No, not really. What the hell are those brakes? I know, right? It's going well, thanks. And yourself? Myself? Yeah, I'm doing okay. I3, what happened to your profile pic? I can't really tell what that is. This gonna sound wicked? I mean, sure. I'm not a big fan of flat 4s because Subarus are very common here in Australia. That flat 4s are just kind of readily modified, and most of them just sound like fart cans, and people just drive around and go, oh yeah, got my Subi, bro, my Impreza, I'm fully sick, bruh, and they just got like, it doesn't sound good. It's so common and ubiquitous here in Australia. So, I don't care much for them. But that's a personal taste and a very common one in Australia. Too much fire? Okay. God, what is with people and brakes? Yeah, I know, right? Prolific profile pic. Okay. No flat 4 with carbs hit different. Okay, we'll give it a try. Anyway, then in the interior, the seats seem way too high. Oh my god, I don't understand why they're so high. Oh, you know what? Hold on. It might be the chassis. No, it's not the chassis. It's sitting on top of the chassis. You could have put them inside there, like, you could have just pretended. It would have been fine. We have no steering wheel, and the dash is incredibly low. So what they've done here is they've noticed that they've got this gap here, and they tried to fit the dash in there as well as possible. It doesn't work. Come check out my video coming out in a couple of days. We'll be going into how I normally fix that. And I just want to have it down once and for all so people can look at that. So from the exterior, this looks fairly good. That seat setup, though, is so wrong, along with the dash. So incredibly wrong. Then in the back, why even bother? Why? Why is that there? It doesn't make sense. Oh, God. So they did really well. The interior, from a distance, looks okay. But not if you pay it attention. If you pay it any sort of attention, it starts to fall to bits. I will say, though, I really do like their wheel choice. It looks really nice, especially with that, like, the enamel type color they've gone with. It's not just regular sort of like body paint by the looks of it. That looks enamel. And I like that, because they would have been an enamel paint. Probably the entire car, actually. But yeah, good wheels, good choices. Now, I know that it's a very basic sort of thing, but it's very well executed. And I do appreciate that. Damn, that steering wheel a stick? You mean the fact that it doesn't have one? There is no steering wheel. What are you on about? I like Subarus, but I despise the people who ruin their exhaust. Porsche had no disc brakes on the 356. Okay, if you say so. Diamonds over stars, people. What? I'm confuzzled. You need no leg to go backseat. Oh, you need to have no legs to go in the backseat. Okay. This is a case of better not bother with the interior. No, I mean, I don't mind. They've done it. So, if you look at this car from a distance, it looks good. Just don't pay too much attention, because those seats, even if you're like looking only from the outside, those seats are way too high and probably way too forward as well. The back seat is perfect for holding clergy. You saying that you want to amputate clergy, people? What? Confuzzled. Teleconnect steering is a new development in safety. Amazing steering wheel. Sure, okay. I noticed that you can see the inside of the front half of the car behind the dashboard. Yes, I will be going into how to fix that in the coming up video in a couple of days. Anyway, moving on to the next one. This one seemed to have garnered a lot of attention on my Discord. I think this looks better in automation than what it does in BeamNG, because all the detail is lost here with all the reflectiveness. So I generally try to stay away from reflectiveness when it comes over to BeamNG, but I mean, it still looks fairly good. It just, a lot of it gets washed out, because BeamNG isn't the most gorgeous looking car. I wonder if I turn on anti-aliasing, if that'll help. Options. Anti-aliasing is on. It just looks really bad. Resolution, update rate, detail, distance, time, max amount, shadow visibility, anti-aliasing mode. I don't think that looks any different. You know what? It does look a little bit different. Okay, yeah. For this particular car, it looks ever so slightly better without anti-aliasing. But the aliasing is still really bad. Also, I don't think they quite understand what anti-aliasing is meant to be. Mitsubishi over Subaru. Mitsubishi has diamonds and Subi has stars. Ah, okay. Yeah, I also do prefer Mitsubishis because I grew up with my cousin doing rally and he had early Evos. Oh, that was so cool. I loved it. So I grew up liking them more. Celery fill, not clergy. Okay then, sure, whatever. The vegetable. I mean, some clergies may as well be. You like Subaru? I don't dislike Subaru. I just probably wouldn't really be excited to have one myself. Early stream today, I just got up. Yeah, it was a little bit early because I am going to be going to bed a little bit early. Clergy is more funny though, E-Dragon. Yeah, I agree. Whack up. I'm assuming that's meant to be wake up at... You said you went to school in England. Please, do a little bit more effort with writing. You're making it really difficult for me. No, seriously, there's absolutely no grill. It's just chrome decor. Yeah, I've noticed. There's a little bit of air intake here and a little bit of air intake there. Little bits of air intake just there and air intake just there. The rest of it is all designer. And I'm guessing it might be electric because this was given to me as a .zip. But we will figure that out when we get around to it. I grew up with VTECs. I do like VTEC. The only VTEC car that I would probably have myself, though, is probably the S2000. The old CRXs didn't come with VTEC. but that is a Honda I would have. I would have also NSXs. I do like NSXs. Apart from that, there's not really many Hondas I really swoon for in any sort of way. Like, the Civics were okay, that sort of stuff, but they didn't really light my pants on fire. Sometimes the grills render incorrectly. I'm not sure. I think this is the way it's meant to be. We'll have a look. Maybe that's why I'm driving a Honda now. Looks like a modern Audi. A little bit. It does look a little bit like an e-tron sort of thing. As an English person, the grammar in this chat is rather disappointing. As an English person, I struggle at English and I think English is a stupid language. Polestar 2, kind of. I don't know about that, no. Though there is a lot of grill there that isn't actually grill, so I'll agree on that point, but this doesn't look like a Polestar, really, at all. CRX? Oh, I love the CRX. CRXs are gorgeous. Like the old one with a split rear windshield. Like the final one of the split rear windshield sort of design. Mwah. I wouldn't have one now because they're really old. So they're like maintenance nightmares. But still, I would love it. This thing is going to be rather draggy being trapped in the fake grill. It really depends how it's designed. If the air gets trapped, it creates a bit of a barrier. Still does create drag, but not a huge amount of drag. Just, once again, comes down to how it's designed. Also, it's not a flat front, it's quite rounded, so that'll help a little bit as well. English was my best subject in school, and I do my best to uphold that. I also agree that language is to serve the user, not the user should serve the language. To a certain degree. Like, to the point where people are just using English willy-nilly stupid-like. Like, Pidgin English becomes really hard to understand. But it is a bad language, yeah. I wouldn't change my Mark 1 Miata for anything else. The Mark 1 Miata is just an amazing car. I've been in a Mark 1 Miata, and I kind of like it. I get it. So sure. Would it be a car that I have? Not at the prices they sell for. Hell no. They are really overpriced here in Australia. Jesus. I wish the CRZ was better. I don't know what the CRZ is. Volvo is a Swedish Chinese? Yeah, I know. I'm not a big fan of the modern Volvo, but that's because I haven't really looked into them in a really long time. CRZ. Oh, no, not video, images. Oh. You know what? I don't mind that from the front. The back end is a big no from me, because that triangle taillight just does not look good, in my opinion. But that looks pretty good. That I would consider. This is an old car. Have I never seen this car before? Oh, it looks good with the wing. Nice. It does assist the lines a little bit to have the wing on there, but it also kind of looks a little bit stupid. I would have also liked there to have been a vent along here. That would have looked really nice. Yeah, I think if they had a vent here, had different tail lights, maybe like lop it off at about here and just not have that extra bit of triangle over there, and not have this be like swooping down against every other sort of like inkling to have there, that probably would have looked so much better on the rear. But yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Have I never seen that before? The Honda CR-V is manual hybrid. Sure, okay. It's horrible to drive. Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean, it sucks that I'm tall, so my knees touch the steering wheel, and I need to sit hunched over a little bit unless I got the top down, which I know in the Netherlands is a rare occasion. Try out anything from mid-2000s onwards of a Ford Fiesta ST. Try that out. Similar sort of thing, but because it's more modern, it handles a lot better, and also you got like more room and everything. Give it a try. Give it a try. I personally have a Mark 6. Oh, so good. Such a phenomenal little car. And probably the last naturally aspirated hot hatch that will ever exist as well. I would buy this car if it released in my country. The only true car manufacturer left in Sweden is Koenigsegg. Sure, okay. I didn't know that. But that does make sense, because I know Volvo has moved, not all of it, but a lot of it to China. I don't know what happened to Saab. Do they even still exist? DAF? No. Volvo owned DAF for a little bit, but I don't think that was in Sweden. I can't remember what DAF was. Anyway, yeah, sure. And it was sold in Australia. What was sold in Australia? It's just not common? What, the Koenigsegg? If it's not rear-wheel drive, I don't want it. This car, okay, let's have a look. Let's delve in. Chat's moving a little bit fast, so we may as well have a look. I see all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Unsure about that. We have a straight six, naturally aspirated? No, turbo. With a racing intake manifold. Sure, okay. I mean, BMWs do have individual throttle bodies, so that could be considered normal. Then we have twin pistons, so at least not three piston. I don't know why people love three pistons, but at least it's not three pistons, but it is two pistons with a smaller disc. So I'm not a big fan. We have double wishbone, independent suspension. Then coming down to the back, we have multi-link and two piston. Okay, once again with the weird brake choice. Probably would have had a lot less weight on the back, so you probably could have gotten away with a single piston there. Still, okay. Questionable choices. Okay, I think there's been an exporting problem because this has come out chrome as well. I think this is an export problem. I don't think this is meant to be all chrome. DAF is Dutch? Okay then. Saab was liquidated by GM? Was it? I didn't know that Saab was owned by GM, but I do know that like they kept on like fumbling themselves around by ownership. So yeah. Look up DAF. I know DAF. My Volvo 360 GLT was made by DAF, and it's one of the lowest quality Volvos out there. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work on that, and it's not going to be a street car. It's going to be a drift car only. I'd buy a Fiesta if Ford didn't decide to shut down operations in Indonesia. Okay, I don't... are you from Indonesia? DAF Trucks is Dutch. They used to make cars, but they got taken over by Volvo. Saab... kinda of Via Nevs, I think the company is called. Please, Joachim Kamharo. Welcome, by the way, if I haven't said hello to you yet. Try a little bit harder. I'm dyslexic. These things are hard to read at the best of times. I found a car you will not like, the Toyota. Like the Toyota Will? Is there a Toyota called the Will? Oh my god! What is that? Is that like an updated version of it? It's not better. That is an ugly ass car. Is that the end of the playlist? It is. Let's go to the next page. Not sure about this playlist. It's a little bit too Debbie Downer. That is so questionable. I don't know what they were thinking. So I kind of get it. This probably came out after the Nissan Cube. And the Nissan Cube had like really bold lines. And then it had that sort of like the indentations. I kind of had that sort of detailing on it. And the Cube did really well. So I get the feeling that they were trying to go off that. And then that back end, really reminiscent of that really ugly design phase that what was it? Renault? I believe it was Renault that did that like inverted rear windshield, or was it Citroën or Peugeot? One of those companies, one of those French companies, they made like a horrible back end on the car, and I think that's what they were trying to copy here. No. Bad. It's like, I thought one of the worst cars in the world, looks-wise, was the Ford car. That's worse! Considerably! Like these straight sort of like indentation sort of the rugged sort of thing that you would see in like a tray of a ute liner, so then you get like a little less friction and hold things in place, whatever, blah blah blah, water drainage. Like that sort of industrial sort of thing doesn't fit the lines of the car at all. It's all wrong. Though I do like the fact that the door wraps around a little bit. That's cool. Let's have a closer look at that. That's a really small picture. And that one's a little bit bigger. Let's open that in the new... God damn it, that's also a really small... You know what, screw it. Alright. Yeah. That's kind of funky. I like that. Kind of... I do like a few things that are just kind of a little bit out there. Like the... Holland Spark from like 2011 sort of era, or the Chevy Spark where you can't see a door handle on the rear, but it's like in the little window area. Like, I like little details, and that does look okay. Once again, also, these handles don't go with the contours of the body lines. Doesn't look good. Feels as if they like started to design this and then rushed it out way too quickly. You know what? I don't hate the Nissan Joke. I don't think it's a good car. Or a good looking car, sorry. But I also don't hate it. That's my personal opinion. Think it was Peugeot? Okay, yeah, sure. Then Peugeot. I know Toyota, you will like it, the Toyota Taz. Okay. TAZ. Let's have a look at that. Sure, it just looks like a Nissan Triple Q. That is straight up a Nissan. Did they just rebadge a Nissan? Is that what they did here? I think they did that, yeah. That's a Nissan Triple Q. Quad Triple Q? Whatever. Like that sort of thing. No, that's not a rip-off. Maybe it is. I know, it's hard to tell. Anyway. Citroen C-Sec had... Yeah, I know I did. I just did a video on it. This car looks like the kind of cars everyone draws when they are full. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it did actually. Only for South Africa. Sure, okay. Oh, okay, well, see you later, Kame344. Thanks for coming by. Never mind, he moved on, and now that message makes no sense. Sure. Welcome, Hachiro Kurosaki. How's it going? Or Kurosaki, if you're trying to be Japanese there. It was one generation of the Renault Megane. Ah, that sounds about right, I believe. If you look up the Renault Megane R26 or something, yeah. I thought the Renault Megane's rear was the worst looking rear end I'd ever seen on a car until I saw that Toyota Taz. Oh, Will, sorry. Yeah. No. I hated that back end. But oh my god, the Will puts this thing to shame. You can't out-ugly the Will. I think that is the ugliest car I've ever seen. Anyway, back to this. We should finish this off and get onto the sort of the looking at it part. So I'm seeing a lot of fake air on the bottom there. Hopefully they weren't relying on that. They've got also what could be a real wing there. I'm unsure. I don't know if that's a real wing or not. Then the interior is very tinted. And it's very dark in here. Once again, the gap, but that's fine. Whatever. They've got a like full-blown uncomfortable bucket seats. So there's comfortable and uncomfortable. These are very low padded seats, so they're not going to be the most comfortable. And also a very Spartan dash. For a car that looks like it's meant to be very luxurious, that's going to be not great in the long run. I see that they've tried to put in door cards, but they haven't really fit them properly. Sure, okay. A basic rear seat into no boot, but that's fine. Alright, so they expect a lot from the, or I expect a lot from this car. Because it was liked a lot in the Discord, so we'll see. I believe this is meant to be two-tone, but the two-tone hasn't exported properly. Be mindful of that. I believe if you make them not shiny, that'll fix this chroming issue. But it's what you've got because that's what you delivered to me. We've got a very wide open. I see what's happened here. So they wanted to have an open rear end. Sure, fair enough. They put in the cutaway patchwork and then they just widen it out. But when you do that too much, it creates these like weird arches. Please, unmirror it, move it over to the side. Sorry, mirror it, move it off to the side, and then just have it cut out properly so then you get the line that you want. Unless that's the line you were going for, which I doubt. Anyway. It's just a Toyota Corolla? What is? Anyway. Oh, you mean the one that looked like a Nissan? Sure, okay. So this is meant to be a Le Mans car from 1966. Let's have a look at what engine we've got. A turbo engine in 66. I don't think so. No. So, I don't think Le Mans back in 66 used turbos yet. Then for the intake, we've got individual throttle bodies in... Please be mechanical fuel injection. Or is that carburetors? That's DCOE carburetors. This probably would have been mechanical fuel injection at the time. Though then again, for a 24-hour race, they may have gone carburetors. Because the reliability... But I'm pretty sure, especially with Porsche pushing mechanical fuel injection so much, that this probably would have had mechanical fuel injection at this era. But, yeah, V6 as well? I feel that it probably would have been a bigger engine. I believe also that this era of... Because you're using a Porsche body, this era of Porsche would have probably still had its flat six. Because I remember seeing them with like the big fan shrouds for air cooling. And I don't think you would air cool a V-type engine like that. But yeah, like it sucked a lot of air up through that. Cool stuff. That's how I wanted to be designed. Oh, this is yours. Oh, okay, that's how you wanted to be. Okay, then. Rick Becker's Phil, what's your opinion on the Toyota Crown? I don't think they look good, but I also don't think they look ugly. I don't understand the love for them. Is it because the engine? Is that it? I believe it also came with the V12, right? So, I mean, that's kind of cool. But the car itself is not good looking, in my opinion. Never has been. None of the models. I used the turbos to get power output I wanted. There are ways of doing that. What sort of engine do you have in here? You have twin cam V6. Yeah, they probably would have just gone a big engine. So, if you remember from Ford versus Ferrari, which is like easy for me to reference because a lot of people have seen it. When they were making more power out of the engines, what they were doing was just making the engines bigger until they went with like a 7 or bigger liter engine or something like that. Like just a giant engine. There was no turbocharging. It was just brute force it. But then again, they also had no finesse. A lot of other car companies still stuck with V12s. There was the Porsches with the flat sixes, but I don't think the Porsches came around until after Ferrari kind of started to give up on Le Mans. Didn't the 917 have a flat 12 turbo? I don't know. What's the 917? Porsche 917. Yeah, so there's this body. from 1969 to 1970, but this is 66 by the looks of it. Engine. So it had up to a 5-liter flat 12, which I do wish that there was a flat 12 option in automation, but I get it. Let's have a look. Turbo. In 1969, opened up Can-Am series, there was a Pink King aerodynamics version, the turbocharged 970 Can-Am Spiders, Porsche. Okay, so only in Can-Am by the looks of it. Yeah, so Can-Am is not Le Mans. There is a big difference between them. So the Le Mans version did not come with turbos, by the looks of it, which I understand. But yeah, so questionable choices, sure. We have single piston, good, but small disc. They probably could have been a much bigger disc. We have... Is that McPherson strut in the rear? Really? Okay. That's a choice, I suppose. Then double wishbone in the front. Why not go double wishbone in the rear? Is it engine size? Maybe it was engine size. Then single piston, but also small discs again. I do like the fact, though, that you've gone with crossfly tires. Thank you for not just going, oh, but radials existed, so we'll use radials. Radials were rubbish up until about the 80s when they properly got developed. The Porsche 917 had flat 12, naturally aspirated, no custom tubular frame though. Yeah, I mean, I get why the tubular frame looks good, but I also get why you don't do it. I built one of these in my own personal time, and it had a proper, like, tube chassis sort of reinforcement sort of thing. But that was me willing to put in the effort. Not everyone's willing to put in that much effort. I get it. It is annoying and tedious work. That is not the most fun thing to do. Alright, it's 1 AM, time to head off for the night. Me do words, yes, read. Catch you later, E-Dragon. Catch you next time. It is 1:02, and I think it's about time now we actually go into testing the cars. We're going to start off with this one. This one is looking very Italian, so we're going to go to Italia. Free roam. And where is Italy? I can never find Italy. Okay, there we go. It's right in the middle. Why does my brain never let me see Italy? It's always such a struggle for me. I think we're going to start over in Norte. Not sure if that's the name, but sure, we'll go for it. Ah, finally, we are... How long in? 1 hour and 42 minutes, and now we're finally getting around to testing the cars. So, I think we're ahead of schedule. So yes, I am speed running today. Due to Gragon? Oh, you're deliberately misspelling things. Okay, you meant to say dragon. Oh, never mind. I might hang out for a little bit just to see this car. Oh, okay, then I'll go back and I'll keep talking about the other cars then. I'm teasing. Maybe we'll skip it, though. Why is my keyboard not working? There we go. Okay. Let's have a look at this car. Hold on. What is the name of this car? The name of this car is the Benoli GTM from 1970-something. That's not the right one. There we go. Okay. This is the Benoli GT. There we go. Okay. So this is my TR673, who I believe I saw in the chat today. Thank you very much for the car. This is a 1975. A moderately budgeted 1975 Italian tour. Words fail me. With, of all things, a boxer engine. Okay, let's have a bit of a look around one last time before we get going. Because I believe this thing had questionable brakes, was it? I know the interior was a little bit problematic. Okay, so we have 2 pistons. And not the biggest disc, okay? Then to the rear, we have 1 piston and very small. So I'm guessing it's going to have a very characteristic 70s brake fade. Let's give it a bit of a drive. You know what? It does sound better than a regular flat floor. Floor. But we are having a problem with the fact that this thing is very gutless. I believe what you've tried to do is fix like a loss of traction issue. Wait, is that where I go? How do I get out of here? I'm stuck, help! Yeah, so you've tried to fix a wheel spin issue with making the gears really tall. I think you would have served a lot better to just have the wheel spin and then have the skill of the driver overcome the wheel spin. Because currently, this thing takes off like a sack of potatoes. I don't know if that's a very good analogy, and I don't think I've ever been in this part of the map before. Where the hell am I? Let's go left. I don't believe I've been this way before. Because that is full flat to the floor, barely any acceleration. How many gears do we have? Let's switch over to manual control. Okay, it's a 4-speed. I'll switch back to automatic. The handling itself is okay once the thing gets going. Just gets a little bit of boggishness under acceleration when you're taking off the line. Otherwise, it feels kind of lively. I just feel that the... Hold on, let's do a bit of a speed test. 106 kilometers an hour in first gear? Bro, your gearing is too long. That is not good gearing. My god. Now, this could have come with radials at the time. I'm not sure what we have on there, but it does look very period correct with the largest sidewalls. I think this might be radials. But, yeah. You have to clutch dump it to get this car feeling any sort of liveliness. Otherwise, it's just way too long. You've killed your car, bro. The gearing should have been half the length. Like, this should be like the top of second gear almost. So back in the day, these older cars would have actually very short gearing. So then you could, like, tow trailers and caravans and all that sort of stuff. This is not great. Let's try doing a hell start here. That was so bad. Oh my god. I love it, but that gearing is atrocious. Phil, I will steal your Heisler. Oh, my train? Okay, then. You won't be able to find it? Sure. I'll be honest, I was still new to automation when making the first few cars I sent, so I was using them more as a learning curve. My more recent cars do much better when it comes to performance. Okay, Flamesy, if you have cars that you are no longer proud of, you can go ahead and remove them, so then we can get around to the ones that people are proud of. Don't want to be a dick, but you could also modify your current posts to give updated versions of cars that you've made. If you want to revisit cars, that's entirely fine. You can do that and just say that the car has been updated. I'm happy with that, as I've said before. Who puts four-wheel disc brakes on a 1970s car? Not really that uncommon. A lot of sports cars, especially Italians, Lotuses had them. I believe Porsches had them. So, that's not that uncommon. What is the price of this car? There is no price. But it says, say, a moderately budget, so I don't know what this is meant to be. Usually it's disc up front and drums in the rear. For American and Australian cars, yes, I very much agree. Resto mod? No, I don't think so. I think this is probably naturally like that. The car does not need to be historically accurate to be realistic. I don't know. Also, it is entirely plausible that this thing came with four-wheel discs. Imagine the amount of choked carb on this car. I believe this has twin four-carb. Yeah. Twin four-carbed. Oh, God. The choke would choke it with the amount of fuel, though, yes. Oh damn, I just arrived and it's my car. Oh yes, it is. Your gearing is way too long. 107 kilometers an hour in first gear, bro. I sort of forgot I'd ever submitted it. It is a good looking car, I will admit. It's like pretty decent. Welcome, Sailvi. How's it going? Interesting name. Oh, I was scared of being too late, but I came right in time for test drives. Ah, you're the sort of person that does inverse to what everyone else does, which is come around for the chat part and then leave when it comes to testing. So yeah, this is whoopsie daisies, and we are dead. Oh, let's hope they invested some of the money into safety. I mean, it's held together well. Let's hope it has seatbelts at least, which it should. Let's hope it's more than a lap belt, I should say. Let's give this thing a bit of a run up again and see if this thing has terminal oversteer. That gearing is so long! If it wasn't for the gearing, this car would be so much better. Now we're going to try out its real-world handling characteristics. Oh, God! Okay, this thing has terminal oversteer. Okay, there we go. Now getting the revs up a little bit higher. And we're going to take it a little bit slower. Ah, okay. So coming over a rise, this thing becomes completely uncontrollable. At, like, higher speeds, that is. Ah. This is really sketch. Slow down a little bit. Oh. You do not want to take this thing to a racetrack, I don't think. Because those brakes will cook. But you won't want to use them. Because it's really scary to drive. Ah! Ah! Okay. I am having to be so incredibly light right now on the things. Oh my god, this is so hard to drive. It's like constantly wanting to spin out on me. I can barely use any of the accelerator. Okay, and we've gone around. Alright, let's just go ahead and give this thing a score. The design, though very plain, is very well executed, as apart from what I said with the steering wheel sort of situation, and the dash could be further out, and the weirdness with the back. I do like it, though. Like an 8 out of 10, it's pretty good, though most of it is done by the body. I will grant that to the game. I do like it. The realism is quite high. The driving factor, though, is abysmal. With that really long gearing and that atrocious oversteer problem that it has, the terminal oversteer, it's going to get like a 1 out of 10. It is not fun to drive. Anything over, say, like 60 kilometers an hour starts to become a bit sketch. And this is meant to be taken on hilly, windy sort of roads. We're in Italy, where this car probably would have come from. The car overall, that design is bumping it up a lot. Still only gets about a 6. I do like it, but there is major improvements that needs to be done to that car before it ever sees the light of day on the consumer market. Plinko car? I don't know what that means. You mean like it goes around and hits things like a Plinko ball? No, that's pachinko. I don't know what Plinko car is. I don't mean to, haha, I just came back. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, from back therapy. Oh, let's hope that your back's not so bad. I don't know what Flamesy has had deleted. Phil, if you get to the 2013 F1 car by the talking bath? You mean the Chrysic Ben? You'll have to skip it and work your way down to the version I sent because I had fixed some problems with the car. If you have a car that you've improved upon, delete it and just have the fixed version. Don't make me review more the same car more than once, please. Anyway, I guess my car killed a lot of people. Yeah, very much so. Though only the test drivers, because this thing would have never seen the market. My father had a Ford... I think actually... narrower front tires, or at least better suspension to stop the terminal oversteer, and maybe crossplies. I don't know if this has crossplies. Crossplies would have made this a little bit more predictable with its oversteer. My father had a Ford Consul. That first gear was so high that he did not use first gear. You mean short? Fair enough, I remember the gears were long. They are incredibly long. What you've tried to do there is fix the, I'm assuming, wheel spin issue that the car probably would have said it had in automation. Let the driver fix the wheel spin issue. That's not for you to do. This thing would have probably reached 60 kilometers an hour, maybe 50 kilometers an hour in first gear. It's not... well done. It looks good though. It really does look good. I don't know why I looked over. Anyway, next car. I like the car, but we're gonna move on. The Archer Detailed SMT. Okay, so this one is by Matteo. It's a 2000s car, I believe in early 2000s, and it's $22,900. Low budget early 2000s sports car, rear-wheel drive, manual and light. This thing would probably actually like Italian hills. So, we're going to leave it here in Italy for this car. Let's have a look through. So this is the one with the ugly rear taillights, but the rest is passable. As like a first, second, maybe even third build that you've done. Very basic. The interior was... I mean, the steering wheel positioning is much better than most people. No rear seats, which is a questionable choice. You probably would want a car to have rear seats at $22,900 for a car. But yeah, so what is this? This is a turbo 4-cylinder. Wow, that's actually really cheap for a turbo car. Anyway, 3 piston brakes. All right, so we won't take this one to the track. We got McPherson's on the front to keep the price low, and double wishbone on the rear with single piston rear brakes. Okay, this thing is probably going to have incredibly overbalanced brakes. Over bias brakes to the front. That's probably going to cause an issue. I'm going to leave traction control on to start with. That traction control is fighting a little bit. Whoop, a little bit of a bounce. The traction control is really killing this thing. Okay, let's turn traction control off now and go from standing still. 43 in first gear. That's the sort of thing that the previous car should have had. Even if it had lots of wheel spin, that would have been fine. It comes down then to the driver to be able to treat it well. Wow, this feels really nice and well balanced. They've done a fairly decent job here. ABS is fairly good. It doesn't seem to be hindering us too much. We are going uphill though, so the brakes will have more... the tires will have more traction for those brakes. Okay, brakes are not 100%, but at least they're not atrocious! Oh god. Okay, we got a little bit of oversteer, though that was probably my mistake, because I had switched the traction control off, but wasn't used to it. Oh yeah, without traction control, this thing has considerably more power. Okay. I get it. I understand this car. It's like a Miata sort of thing. Feels nice in the hills. Not too much oversteer. And barely any perceivable understeer. This is just a well-designed suspension setup for this car. Well done. Unfortunately, though, it's really ugly. I shouldn't say really ugly. I just say it's not attractive in any way. Yeah, that's affected my steering. Now it's pulling a little bit to the left. But we can still keep driving this. Cars rack up a lot of wear over the years. Ah! No, we're okay. No, we're still good. I straightened up at the last second. The steering is not completely gone. This is an enjoyable car to drive. Is it a fantastic car to drive? It's not got enough power to feel absolutely fantastic, to feel like lively. But it is still a cheap car. So, I think it's fairly good. So, let's go ahead and give this one a design score. It's a one-trick pony. It is just a good handling car. The price is not bad. I would have liked to actually have more of a naturally aspirated sort of power band, because this thing feels a little bit like you've come onto a turbo. It feels nice, but if you're going for a cheap driver's car, maybe a smaller turbo, or naturally aspirated altogether, would have been absolutely fine. Like, look at the Subaru BRZ and whatnot. They're naturally aspirated, and they do a very good job. That is actually a small turbo. Interesting. Anyway, I do like it. Design, no. The feel of driving the car, pretty good. The realism, it's kind of there. You probably wouldn't get a $22,000 sports car with a turbo on for that price. How much does a Toyota FT86 cost? $38,000, so twice the price almost. What about an MX-5 price? $36,000. So I don't think the price is very matching. I think they've done some questionable, like for real life, questionable things. But I do like the idea of democratizing power. You've probably got like a really uncomfortable interior. It does only have 2 seats, all that sort of stuff. It's ugly, but at least you're getting cheap power. So I can't really fault it there. Unfortunately, it is really ugly. So the car's going to get like a 6 because it is unattractive. The Ford made 80 kilometers an hour in first gear. Sure, but not 107. There may have been cars like that, but yeah. Alright, that's it for me. I am off to sleep. See you later. Alright, see you later, E-Dragon. Welcome, Barrett Oliver. You've been replaced already, E-Dragon. It's a good car for the real world. I think this would have sold well. Not with its design. I think with the design, I think it would have been, like, a cult car. People that were in the know would have probably liked it. I get the feeling this thing probably has no safety, though. Or if it does, not very good safety. So, I would be sketched out a little bit by its drivability. But even I, if I had heard how good this car was at driving, probably would have tried this car out. But I wouldn't have ever looked at this car and immediately gone, that's a good car. I would have looked at it and gone, what were they thinking? Anyway, let's have a look at the next car in the lineup. Another questionably designed car. The Certhia Sport 2200. Here we go. This is by Carlos BR. It's a 2002 car. It is $57,900. So I'm expecting a lot from this. And it's a McLaren body, mid-engine, i4, 255 horsepower, manual 6-speed. For $57,900, you're either going to have like an amazing handling car or a big American lumping V8 in there. 255 horsepower is not a huge amount. For a 4-cylinder, it's actually pretty good. But it's not even like Japanese gentleman's agreement number. So, yeah, let's give it a try. We're going to leave it in Italy because it is meant to be, I'm guessing, some sort of low-end supercar. Actually, you know what? No, this thing probably deserves to be on a track. So let's take it over to... Where is it? Yeah, let's take it to, West Coast, USA, to the racetrack and give it a try there. Because this thing looks like it's meant to be a race car. Like, McLaren bodies, they're supercars, hypercars, really do well on the track. Let's give it a try. Still not sold on this music. I think I might just stick with my normal playlist that I use. You know what, actually, yeah, we're going to switch over to the normal playlist I use. Let's get rid of that. Mode. There we go. Apply. There we go. Let's go to the next song. You're right. There we go. Better music. Trolley, please. There we go. Okay. Switching over to the next car. and we're going to judge them harshly. You know, I do like the fact, though, that the lights do wrap around a little bit, three-dimensionally. That does look decent. I will give them that. The back end, like a reverse kind of snout sort of a design there. I am concerned. So let's have a look. We do have one rear wing. This is, as I said, not a real wing, so there's no error coming from there. Moving all the way to the front. I see no arrow. All they have is the fake lip there. So it's a real lip, but it's not real arrow, so that's why I call it fake. This thing is gotta make up for it in other ways. Let's have a look at the brakes. 3 piston on the front, and then on the rear 1 piston. So when you hear people like Jeremy Clarkson and all that sort of people talking about cars having like lots of pistons, that's usually on really heavy cars like Bentleys and Mercedes and all that sort of stuff. Also, them having like lots of pistons on the front and then less on the rear is what you do when you have a front engine car where all the weight is. But the weight is here in the rear. So you've got it wrong? We'll find out. I get the feeling that they probably didn't test drive this, or they've done some weird, wacky stuff to make this actually work properly. Is this turbo or naturally aspirated? No, nothing about turbos here. So it is actually meant to be naturally aspirated. That's naturally aspirated. Me do Lex. I have words. Why has Australian dollars... Wait, why has Australian dollars and not pounds being a former English colony? Why has... Are you asking why does Australia have dollars and not pounds? And we are still a part of... we are still a colony of England. We are also in the Commonwealth. We are ruled indirectly, technically by the Queen still. Not just by the Commonwealth. We did actually have pounds and shillings and threepence, all that sort of stuff. But we got our own currency with a decimal system decades ago. Way before I was born is when it was first implemented. But yeah. The back end looks like an ugly face. Yeah, I kind of get that. I'm not a big fan of it. The front end looks a little... too basic. I'm also not a big fan of McLaren, so you have to do a lot to this body to make it look good to me. The Celtia has a comparable power figure and price tag to a Lotus Elise. Hopefully it performs similarly. Oh. Okay then. Lotus Elises here in Australia are super duper expensive. Also, the Lotuses don't have like hugely overcomplicated aero, so we shall see. Ooh, this feels peppy. Let's try that again without traction control. Still about the same. Okay. This thing feels good. Off the line, at least. We're going to start to find out how it handles, though, when going around a track. So, braking. Brakes didn't get too hot. That's good. Handling is fairly nice. The suspension feels a little bit soft, is the word that I'd probably use for that. But maybe it's like a comfortable sports car. Not bad, okay. Yeah, this feels a little bit understeered at higher speeds. Not so bad, actually. We were in like mid-speed cornering there, and we still weren't noticing any under or oversteer, like, excessively. It doesn't feel so sharp on the front, but at least it doesn't feel dull. Okay, at high speeds it understeers. But that's not incredibly high speeds. We're still at like moderate speeds. We're only like a 120, 130-ish sort of speeds there, and it started to wash out wide with understeer. So that's probably a lack of front aero is what's causing the issue there. Now Lotuses do actually have aero. It's not overly complicated. They just got their cars set up correctly. The brakes are getting hot. We haven't even finished a lap. They do seem to have a lot of cooling though. So hopefully the brakes will stay under control. The brakes also don't feel terrible. They're not the most sprightly brakes in the world, but they're not as unbalanced as they look. Yeah, we get understeer. Into reverse, please. Into drive, please. There we go. And where we go. Serious question, what's with the kilowatts? Australia doesn't use horsepower. Australia uses standard international measurement of kilowatts. If you've ever looked at electric motors and see how much watts they use, that is kilowatts. So at least in America, they're starting to switch over to a metric system. It is the metric measurement of power of a car instead of horsepower, which isn't actually a power of a horse in any way. Weird. It's also comparable and directly easily put into other mathematical calculations to figure out other things for what power is usually used with. Anyway, coming around to the final one here. I just want to see how far I have to go until I cook the brakes or wash out. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't have snap oversteer, which is really tricky to tune out on such a rear biased weighted vehicle, especially if you have a wing on the back, even though it's not a great wing. And you can see there that the brakes barely pulled us up in time, even though we don't have a particularly large amount of power. It still took quite a while, and that's because the ABS had to work overtime to deal with the fact that this thing has unbalanced brakes. But at least they don't feel bad. They feel proportionate to the rest of the car. So it's not horrible. If you do all your braking before most of the corner is done, this thing actually corners pretty alright. You just don't want to be braking too much in with trail braking. Or maybe you do want to trail brake? I don't know, it's really hard to tell. And then I accidentally got power oversteer. Hopefully we didn't ruin the suspension because I want to keep trying to cook these brakes, but they seem to return to 260 degrees quite often. So maybe the brakes won't overcook, because it looks like they've actually bothered to turn up the slider on the brake thermals. Oh god! Whoops! Not my fault. Let's now take off the ABS and see what this thing is like without ABS, and we'll see what the balance of the brakes actually is. So, I'm gonna get up to somewhere around like 80. Cool, that'll do. And you can see that the front wheels want to lock up more than the rear. Let's try to not do a hard lock. And get up to somewhere like... yeah, that should do it. Alright. As you can see there, yeah, I'm feathering the brakes, and you can see that the front wheels are locking up. I could tell what they've done here is they've made the front brakes a little bit smaller and the rear discs bigger, and they put all of the brake bias to the rear most likely. But still, they couldn't overcome the fact that they put 3-piston brakes on the front. Not great. Imperial and metric units, I guess. Officially, America has used metric since the early 1800s. The people just don't make the switch when the government did. The government uses officially imperial. There was going to be a big switch. They made a deal with Canada to make a North American switch to what do you call it? To metric from imperial. And then when it came to time to actually switch, Canada made the switch, but then America backed out and said, no, we're going to stick with what we got. And I believe that was deliberate. So then America could just have that, like, one more underdog thing. Like, we still use an outdated measurement system. We're the underdogs. Weird, but very American. I don't know why, but I'm scared of how my car will handle. We shall see when we get around to it. But, yeah, now, this car, what was the price of it again? $57,900. I don't think this car is worth $57,900. I do like the engine. It's a little bit peppy. As a road car, I think this thing would feel quite nice. Maybe if it had a little bit of front aero, not this fake diffuser that's not actually aero. Sorry, not actually aero. I think actually, yeah, if there was just like proper aero on this thing, we can just forget about the brakes and this car would be phenomenally better. Though it is still not the greatest looking car, I would then probably give it like an 8 out of 10. But as it stands, with its questionable looks, the not 100% utilized brakes, and the bad aero and washout understeer at higher speeds, this car is going to get like a 6.5 out of 10. It does feel quite nice, and it's not as quite plain designed as the previous car. Let's have a look at the next car. We'll start this one on this map. I've tested it before and it handled rather well last I checked. Okay, we'll have a look. I don't remember which one was yours exactly. Weird flex, but okay for America using the English system. I know, right? It is so funny. Trying to do calculations with imperial units is a huge pain. It can be. One thing I hate is inches, feet, yards, furlongs, and miles. I hate it. Why is that a thing? Is furlongs the right term? Furlongs might be something else. Anyway, yeah, no. Base 10 or base 100 or base 1000, whatever, just like round numbers, so much better. Now, I understand why they use units 12 and all that sort of stuff, and that's because of the Babylonians using base 60 as a counting system. So then that way things can be divided into, like, we still actually use that in clocks. We have 60 seconds to a minute and 60 minutes to an hour, and 24 hours, like 12 and 24, is also part of base 60 in it's a fraction of 60. 60 is the perfect number for fractions because you can create a huge amount of fractions from it. But we've moved on from that. 12 is a fraction. Like a dozen is a... They're all roots from the Babylonian counting system of base 60. We've moved on. We're more complicated than that now. Decimals work better than fractions for a lot of different reasons. Though there are some things that can only be expressed in fractions. So, I suppose they have their benefits, but I've tried using an imperial socket set constantly, and I hate it because you have to not just count up, like this is 17 mil, this is 18 mil, the 19 mil is bigger, the 20 mil is bigger. You have to go, I know that the 7/16 is bigger than the 11/16. Wait, what? Like it doesn't go chronologically. Like 3/4 is bigger than a half, but you have to kind of like know that. Oh, you have to be able to visualize that. It's not just going, the next number up is bigger. Oh, I hate it so much. I hate it. Funny because Americans like to say they are just the best in the world. Sure, I think it's not so much that. I think they like to think of themselves as the underdog or a powerhouse. If they can't be a powerhouse in something, they have to be the underdog in something. They have to be the most of anything, is kind of the mentality that is just really ingrained into the American psyche. Just very weird. And causes so many social problems. And political problems. Anyway. I'm back again after rewinding to watch the full review of my car. Carbon fiber bits looked wood-like before an update. Oh, okay then. And I made it before you explained the one-piston brake thing. I've been on the one-piston brake thing since last year. Anyway, I get it. Let's have a look at this car now. This is meant to be a four-wheel drive car. We do have lockers as well, which is a choice. That means that this thing is meant to be full hardcore off-road. So I don't know if this thing is really good here. Is it an automatic, please? No, it is a manual. This might even be a that is a really quick gear change. Is this sequential? Yeah. Nah. These gear shifts are really quick. Which leads me to think this thing has sequential, has a sequential gearbox. What have we got in there? Hold on, let's have a look. You know what, it might be advanced no, it wouldn't be advanced automatic. It'd still be a little bit more wishy-washy than that. It shows a manual gearbox. Is there a way for me to find out what sort of gearbox it has without, like, extracting out the .car file, putting it into automation, then checking it in automation? Because this would not have a sequential. Sequentials are generally not as hard-wearing as a manual. The min-max country? Yeah, pretty much. English here. Welcome, Barrett Oliver. No, I've already said hello to you, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, anyway. If I haven't, welcome, Barrett Oliver. We don't really use chains and furlongs. Cool about the clocks. Good mix of cars and history. Chains, knots, and furlongs are all imperial. Whether it gets used or not is different. Can you check the gearbox in part selector? Oh, okay, let's have a look there. Though I don't know, does sequential show up as a different name of a thing? We got transmission here. Doesn't say, it just then says transfer case. I don't know, it switches too fast for a manual. Anyway, let's keep driving it around. That first gear feels really sluggish though. And this thing chugs out smoke. You know what? This thing goes like 80-something in first gear. If this is meant to be an off-road car, I suppose it does have a low-range selector, but even still, this thing should probably have a shorter first gear. Like, longer first gears didn't really become a thing until later on. And usually, more of an automatic thing until recently with, like, Euro fuel targets and all that sort of stuff. Anyway. I'm also noticing the lights here are pretty big. I might grab these lights and put them into my own Thunderdome map that I'm putting together. I'm glad I came in and checked that out. I'll have a look at that. That's just a side note thing for my map that I'm putting together. Anyway, yeah, pretty cool. What are the other details of this car? Apart from the fact that it locks up when going over a crest, but not when it's on flat ground. The thing has a lot of inertia. The weight... nearly 2 tons. Oh my god. Oh my god. This thing would have a shorter gear ratio. Rally it? It's more of an off-roady sort of thing than anything else. Anyway, yeah, so, car details. Control E. What was the name of it? The name of it was the Eagle 2300T. Please tell me it's a 4-cylinder. Eagle 2300T. Okay, so this is from Robin Hart. Thank you, Robin Hart, for the car. This is a 1970s car, $22,700. Very cheap. Very cheap. Oh my god, for pop-up headlights as well? That is incredibly cheap. Jesus. Anyway, a 4x4, 5.9 liters, inline 6 turbo diesel. Okay. I doubt this thing would have been this cheap. It probably actually would have been naturally aspirated to be this cheap, but anyway. Station wagon making 638 foot-pounds of torque and 291 horsepower. I think that price is off. That is too low of a price. The manufacturer, the sales would have been much higher on these things. It's the perfect luxury utility family wagon. Yeah, I very much doubt that. Like, you probably could have done that in automation, but realistically, it would have cost a lot more than that. But yeah, so let's have a look at the engine again. I wish I knew if this is mechanical injection or not. It looks mechanical, but I don't think it is. Anyway, I like it. Let's go take this thing off-road. There's not really much of an off-road area is here. There's a little bit of this rally area. Let's see how it deals with this rally area, then we'll take this to a little bit more of a rock crawly sort of place. Okay, starting line is about here. F7. Let's try it out. We're not going to lock up the diffs right now. We'll see how it deals with it to just start off with. Understeer. That's problematic. I feel that also the wheel tuck on a 1970s car would have been a little bit more of a wheel tuck. Like, they generally didn't have the wheels flush with the side of the car, which is a more modern sort of design. Not all cars have it. Ah! This thing has a lot of power. Jesus. Oh, we flattened a tire. Let's go ahead, refresh this. Let's lock up the rear drive shaft, and let's try switching over to a low range. You think the engine runs rich? I think that's just kind of showing what a diesel is like, with a lot of smoke coming out of the rear. Harsh. Really harsh on the bounces. I feel like this thing should have been riding a little bit higher as well, to be like an off-roady sort of car. Otherwise, yeah, like it's bottoming out way too much. Also, I feel that the suspension should have been a bit softer as well. No, maybe the suspension is soft enough, actually. I feel like this thing didn't need to be four-wheel drive. Yeah, no. So I like it. Handles quite nicely. But its realism factor is really low. Especially with the fact that it has asymmetrical diffs. So one is a independent suspension on the front and then leaf in the rear. There's a lot of things on here which would have made it cost, realistically, a lot more than 22,000s. Like, this car probably would have been in like the equivalent of, because there's no inflation in the game, what would you say, 50,000 for a car like this? Because it's got a lot of power. For the day, that is a huge amount of power. With the whole suspension thing, the wagon thing, I don't think it would have been very popular at a higher price bracket though, because it's not very much an off-roady sort of vehicle like what you would want from a four-wheel drive car. So you're wasting a lot of money, and being in the 70s, this thing is going to waste a lot of fuel as well. Anyway, I like it. Let's take it over to a more off-roady sort of area. That was the wrong selection. Maybe cliff, maybe small island. You know what? Let's take it to Jungle Rock Island. There we go. Hill? Yeah, let's try hill. And see how it handles around here. Huh. I suppose I didn't expect much from this car, because its design was very chunky, but I do kind of like it. So it's enjoyable. Its realism is low, though, unfortunately. And, its design, not my favorite. Gonna be honest. Let's go ahead, bring up the car. The Eagle 2300. I don't know what's... Sorry. I don't know what's called the 2300. When that's not referencing the price, the power, or the engine capacity. Weird choices. Weird choices have been made. Alright, let's find a dirt track. Is that a dirt track here? Yes, it is. And it is quite steep here. So let's find a flat bit and we'll bring it down. Okay, right about here. Which way is up? I believe back is up. We might already run into traction issues. So we might have to turn the diff locks on fairly quickly, but I'm going to try to run without the diff locks for as long as possible. Probably going to switch over to a low range as well, because high range is a bit much. Oh, mud. Okay, maybe we'll go back to... You know what? Okay. Diff locks on, range, low range. We're already bottomed out. That is the problem with this car. Let's back up and try to get a bit of a run-up for this then. But then again, you can't really get much of a run-up because it's too bumpy, and you keep on gonna have to, like, lose speed and power because of the bumpiness. Yeah, nah. This car fails. Let's switch back to automatic. Oh, sorry, manual control. Okay, if you go to manual control, it's a little bit better. That's kind of my fault, not the car's fault. Ah! Even in low range, this thing bogs down a little bit sometimes. Oh, we're in second gear, that's why. Okay. I feel this thing bottoms out way too much. Either go with a wagon or go with a four-wheel drive. You don't need to go with both. Yeah, now we're completely bogged now. That is not coming back anytime soon. So the car gets... I do like the fact that this is a 6-seater. Should be a 7-seater, but there is actually no legroom in the rear. If we go back in and have a look... Oh, God. If you see there, you're not sitting in the middle seat at the back. The steering wheel is in the wrong place. I'm not sure about that ventilation being there. It's also kind of in the wrong place if the airbox is all the way up here, but I suppose you could just say that the automation didn't do it the way you wanted it to do it. Fair enough. 6 out of 10? It feels nice as a road car. It doesn't need to be four-wheel drive. Next car! This will probably cost $50,000 to $60,000, and the maintenance cost would be a pain in the ass to deal with. Very possibly. Depends how it's put together, though. It is a turbo car. Ah! Race car. I'm not going to leave it here in the mud or even use Jungle Rock Island for this. We're going to take this to Spa Frankenchops. Alright, so this is the BeamNG Viking 2021 by Krysic Ben, and this seems to be a very popular car over on the BeamNG repository. It's a 2021 car. I have no idea what the price is, but I will say only one thing: it can climb Hike's Peak in less than 7 minutes. So, if it doesn't do well, shame on him, because making big claims here. Now, we have all-wheel drive, mid-power, full power, low power, and mid-power. All-wheel drive? I didn't see front drive shafts, did I? Let's try the all-wheel drive version first. There is no front drive shaft. Hold on. Oh, weird. Got, like, collision mesh done. Can I grab a bit of the body, please? There we go. Yeah, it is all-wheel drive, though they've hidden the front drive shafts. I vehemently disagree with your decision there. If you want all-wheel drive, have the downsides of all-wheel drive, which is the fact that it's meant to be ugly. Also, what is this ESC? Set to comfort or race AI. Weird. It's also got nitrous oxide. Let's give it a bit of a try to start with. See how it handles. Let's see how it can take Eau Rouge. Oh, this thing is sticky as hell. That icky sticky, bro. Oh, feels really good. It's a little bit bouncy in the suspension, but we have a little bit stronger shock. Ah! That looks like it wants a steering wheel over a controller, because that was not fun to control. That was snap oversteer. But snap oversteer does happen to rear bias weight vehicles going through. Is it Eau Rouge or Blanchimont? I believe it's called Eau Rouge. Oops. Ah! It's so hard to control there with a controller. I think with a steering wheel that would be entirely controllable. Though it is a little too biased to do a track like this very possibly. Let's give it one more try and then get it down to the next intersection, corner. Ah, I tried to lift. Oh, we were able to save it. We saved it. We've done it. We're alive. But yeah, now let's bring it down and see what the braking is like on this bad boy. Should be able to brake somewhere around here. That is incredible braking. How fast was I going just then? Let's do one more test. I just want to see what the speed is of this car before we switch over to the next version of this. I do want to try out the other versions now that this car is proving to be quite phenomenal. Wonder if this thing has some, like, fakery, like, wind downforce. I don't think it does. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, no, this thing does not have faked downforce. But there is a problem with downforce, as you saw just there. This thing probably has way too much. It's not doing so bad though. It's not huge. Okay, so we don't have a massive top speed. It is hindered massively. That braking, bro, is insane. Jesus. All the other configs are rear-wheel drive. All right, let's give it a try. Oh, is this your car? Benjamin. Are you Chrysler Ben? So we got full... Okay, so what do we got here? For this configuration, the engine produces 780 horsepower in the first 3 speeds, then 940 horsepower. Remember to activate the NOS. I'm fine to not activate that right now. Recommended for people who don't want to drive a rear-wheel drive car. So then we have low power, mid power, and full power. I like the fact that they've said low power, you're going to be wanting that if you've got a keyboard. This is mid power, and then full power, you're going to want the full steering wheel. I'm brave. Did I just see 1400 horsepower? Oh no. I think I just saw 1400 horsepower. I think I now understand why. For this configuration, the engine produces 1000 horsepower in the first 4 seats, and then 1400 horsepower in the top one. Okay, so that's a little bit more controllable. Remember to activate NOS, I will do. Recommended for steering wheel users. What is this ESC, by the way? I don't understand. Oh, this is not your... Oh, no, that's Barrett saying that. Eau Rouge and Radeon? Okay, then. So that's what that is. You were going like 270. Jesus, those brakes are lethal. Yes, I am. Good. Okay. What is up with this? What... Do I leave that on? Let's turn NOS on for now. Ah! This is considerably harder to drive. Alright, we're in 4th. Got all that extra power now. Let's see how this thing does through Eau Rouge and Radeon. Oh, this is actually more controllable than the all-wheel drive version. So I did have to lift, but I believe we're going considerably faster. Yeah, Jesus. We do have NOS on, which apparently is infinite NOS. Okay, I didn't need to brake that early. This car is fast, and I love it. Though I can control this with a controller, this is a pretty good car. Though I would be faster with a steering wheel. I will admit that immediately. I don't break out the steering wheel, though, for these things. I also don't feel like going up Pike speed because I've not done it in a very long time, and the crashes would be aplenty. Puon. Actually, how fast could I have gone around Puon just then? Let's rewind and see how fast we could have actually done Puon just then. I want to try seeing if we can go like flat through Puon. I feel like this car wouldn't be able to, but it might get close. This thing has so much traction. Did you turn the traction up on the tires? I do see that they're full slicks. Ah. Okay, I had to lift a little bit, but it did pretty well. This car is pretty good. A custom ESC made by a friend. Oh, okay, good. Because normally ESC in these games suck ass. Like, it is the worst thing in the world. Except for one car in particular. Though it still did hamper that one car. That was from last week. The only car I've ever driven to have actually been improved by a default ESC. Let's try driving this. Suicide mode. No ESC. Okay. Oh, already immediately more traction loss. But still, quite control. Okay, no, it's not quite controllable. That is actually a lot scarier without it. Oh my god. The ESC is so good. Congratulate your friend for making like a really good ESC. I think with the steering wheel though, I still would be able to control this completely without the ESC. It's just with the ESC, it's particularly tricky. Damn it. Damn it. All right. Let's try that one last time. I am enjoying the hell out of this car. But it is a one-trick pony. There's not really much you can do with it apart from just drive around. So what multiplier did you use for the friction coefficient? Because it feels like it's somewhere around like a 3 or a 4 almost. But then again, that could also be mostly downforce. Okay, yeah, no. And then we get the floaty floats. Like Flavor Flav. Let's see how this thing does around... I believe this corner, this, like, really fast corner is Blanchimont up here. Is that what it's called? Yeah, we're gonna try it out. We're gonna try it at full speed. Okay, yeah, no. I feel like this thing could do with a smidge more downforce on the rear if you're not going to be using ESC. But with, like, this fantastic ESC, you don't need to worry because it does handle absolutely amazingly. Okay. This car? 9.5 out of 10. So much effort and so much work went into this. There's a few little mistakes here and there. Like, the engine is usually covered. The front wings aren't multi-element. They're just multi-winglets. The use of NOS. I don't know how else you would get around the fact that you had to have too much wheel spin in the lower speeds. The fact that this also points out, is that normal? Are they not meant to be parallel with the wheels generally, so then you're not creating, like, drag there? I believe also the end plates are meant to be inside the rear tires, not in line with the rear tires. I don't know what these tubes are. If you could explain what these tubes are on the underneath, that would be fantastic, because I have no idea what those are. Aside from that, the rest of the car is just phenomenal. The fact that you've also got, like, multiple car choices, which is something I did once and then said, you know what, I'm never doing that ever again. Lots of effort and lots of love went into this car. Holy smokes, tires are not stock indeed. How'd you get the slick tires to work without coming out? Oh, how'd you get the slick tires to work without coming out as no textures? Okay, so what you can do is you can actually edit them. Edit the DDS file to have no thing. That's a thing that I've done. I've shown in one of my videos a long time ago. Or you can just tell the main materials to not draw upon the texture and just have the colors. I don't remember the group chief, actually. I don't know what you mean by that. FlameZ, I will explain it in Discord. Okay. What do you mean group chief? Anyway, I love this car. Fantastic. Really well done. I love it. Kind of want to try this out in my own time, though. We're going to move on to the next car for now. It is 2 a.m. I'm getting really tired and we're just getting to halfway now. Formula Missile. Oh, dear God. This is by Double Trouble. It's a 2020 car. It's $7.73 million. I exported this, and I had to remove the chassis for them because they didn't give it to me as a .zip where they removed the chassis themselves. I won't do that for every car. I just happened to notice it because it's on my body. Okay, so this is using the 1962 F1 body that I made. They put a V12 in the back to make a dragster with 2,306 kilowatts per ton. How much does it weigh? This thing weighs a little over a ton. I'm assuming most of that is the engine, which, if you remember, is joy-freaking-normous. That is a huge engine. It's way into the engine bay. Now, I made the engine bay deliberately really big on this. But you meant to put a backing there for yourself so then you're not sitting up against an engine. That would be uncomfortable and really hot. But yeah, let's get this one a try. Oh, it's so jiggly, like the actual body comes at us. So in automation, this body is fine. But when it exports to BeamNG, automation doesn't really know how to export bodies like this. So they end up becoming big jelly monsters. Like, let's have a look at the mesh. Look at that. That is not a clean mesh. And it turns into a jelly monster, as you can see. We're going to take this thing over. Oh my God, those front wheels are barely holding together with this. Yeah, too much power. This thing is very much uncontrollable. Let's have one last look. There is no aerofoils on this car. All right, let's just go take this over, do the drag strip like they asked. Because currently it's not doing so well. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to do an actual time trial. We're going to bring out the drag strip and the Formula Missile and give it one shot down here. Oh, the grip coefficient. Oh, okay then. I'm assuming what happened there is it auto-corrected to Group Chief. Fair enough. Welcome, Greyleaf Gaming. How's it going? You know what? I could look up the file myself right now, see what the drag coefficient is, but I don't care. Let's just go ahead, give this thing a proper hard go. I think I braked it. Yeah, the suspension brakes immediately. Yeah, and all the tires burst. They didn't do a lot of testing, but you could see there. If I turn around maybe this way, you can see that the suspension brakes immediately. Let's go ahead and retry this. We're just going to keep our foot in it this time. Yep. Not the greatest car in the world. And it's only getting a 7.6 on the drag strip. That's not that fast. Let's go ahead and retry this. So, turn that off. Go into manual control. Restart. And get this thing set into sport control. Okay. Oh my god, it just stuffs it up even worse. And all the tires have burst, but we've now down to a 7.3. Not the fastest car. That's actually not fast at all. As you can see here, I've gone down into the 5 seconds of ranges. Like, that's not a great time. I think that that was a cheese mod. Also, yeah, that's also a cheesy mod. This is a standard automation car. So, yeah. Unfortunately, this car gets a fail all round. It looks funky. I do like the rear shark fin sort of thing. I do like the big engine popping out. But you've not done a good job anywhere else whatsoever. So this car gets like... I don't know. That does look really cool. But like a 3, 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Everything else gets a 1 out of 10. But it goes up to a 4 out of 10 because those rear fins look so cool as they are. Good, how about me? I'm doing okay. My back hurts a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe I'm standing weirdly. And I'm also really tired. And my phlegm has... my saliva has turned to froth. I know, it's really weird right now. Alright, we have that LMP1 looking car. We're going to take that back to Spa Frankenchops. Oh, my back hurts. I don't know why my back is hurting right now. Poggers on that car? Oh, I don't know about that. Shift C, move across. F7. Okay, well that fell through. Like, literally. F7. There we go. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and bring out the Hirochi Race Car Horsepower Plus. What a great name. It's one of these. Oh, here we go. Race Car Horsepower. I suppose the name didn't come through. By Chief. This is one of 2 cars by Chief today. And this is my fastest automation track car, but the brakes cook. Alright, let's have a look. Slow that camera speed down a little bit. We have push rod, we have very small brakes. I can already tell you what the problem is. And 1 piston, then on the front we've also got really small 1 pistons. So just make the discs bigger and rely on ABS as long as you make sure that they are balanced. Now, LMP1, this thing should be 2-wheel drive. Nope, it's all-wheel drive. Let's have a look here. No, okay, so it's not actually meant to be an LMP1 car. It's just meant to be a really cool car. And as we've shown, the aero in is very small. The aero out is freaking-normous. There's a bit of an imbalance, and that should probably be addressed. Let's go ahead, turn ESC off, and give this all-wheel drive monster a bit of a try. My LMH, so I'm assuming that's Le Mans hypercar base car, has a little over 1,000 horsepower out of an inline, out of a 4-liter twin-turbo V10. Not bad. It's basically an unrealistic version of an LMH car. Okay, give me a moment. I need to go to the potty. Much better. Okay. Space Warrior. Welcome. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? My back hurts. Quicky's gone. Post-frog? What? I said unrestricted, not unrealistic. Oh, okay, my bad. Space Warrior, Battle Royale. What are we talking about? What's going on? Why are the frogs? Wash your hands? Yes, I always wash my hands. Alright. Let's go ahead and try this. What the hell? Okay. They've made a mistake, and they probably haven't realized. Because there's an extra fitting there and an extra fitting there. Yeah, and this is the 4-pod as well. Is it natural aspirated or turbo? Nope, those are 2 turbos. 2 really big turbos. And I think we were expecting lots of turbo lag from this car as well. But let's give it a bit of a try around now. Oh, understeer. And then power oversteer. Unusual balance there. Scraping. Twitchiness at high speeds. Okay, we're getting it under control. This car is really hard to drive. I'm not sure what that is, but it's jiggling side to side with the wing. Alright, you know what now? I think this thing does well in tight twisty bits. Any sort of like high speed cornering. No, it's mid-speed cornering it sucks at. I wonder what this thing does at low-speed cornering. We're gonna come around to some stuff after Puon. Okay, yeah, so high-speed cornering it sucks at. It's really hard to tell what this thing sucks at and what it doesn't, because it acts differently on each individual corner. And then it gets twitchy at high speeds. You know what? It's good at low speeds, it's good at high speeds, but it sucks at like in-between speeds. No, it's good at in-between speeds as well. But now it's not? This car is all over the place. I do not understand. And then it understeers again. It is so weird. So unpredictable. And then it snap oversteers. And then it becomes twitchy. And then it's back to being normal again. I think the scraping is not helping. I think the scraping is making it unpredictable. Then we got twitch oversteer again. Oh my god, what is wrong with this car? Alright, Blanchimont. Drifting it because I can't control it normally. What is this nightmare of a car? Okay. I think we're done. This car sucks. 2 out of 10. The design is and the feel is bad. The realism, probably not great. Especially with the fact that it's a 4-wheel drive race car. Most race car categories limit you to rear-wheel drive or front-wheel, 2-wheel drive generally. This, no. Also, the brakes cooking thing, I wasn't able to figure out whether that happened or not for me, because this car handles like garbage. Jesus. I'm great. I had 2 hours sleep, but I'm feeling amazing. Maybe not even 2 all. Lol? I think you should stop doing drugs. Anyway, let's move on to the next car. That car was just not great. It was sketchy and scary. I think with the steering wheel, I might be able to help it a little bit, but there's just problems with that car. Now we have the Ivory Special Class. Let's have a look at that first before we spawn it. Okay, so this is by the same person. Absolutely no details on this car. So let's take this to a different map. I get a feeling this is not particularly a race car. I think we might take this one to Italy. Yeah. I don't think it really fits any other category. It is European. So, yeah, we'll just take it to... where's a good place to go? Yeah, we'll take it to the same place as last time, and we'll give it a bit of a drive around the city, and then we'll take it out into the more mountainy sort of areas and see what it's like. I think the car looks good, but I think the headlights could have been done better. Oh yeah, this is the one with the funky interior. I forgot. Yeah, no, the interior is really bad. Am I really that far in? That doesn't seem right. When the game finally loads, because Italy takes for frickin' ever. Oh my god. Why is this game so poorly optimized? It's done loading! Open it up! Jesus. Okay, there we go. Alright. Am I actually that far in? Oh, I am that far in. Oh yeah, because I basically scrubbed the Hirochi. Oh! It's meant to be on Hirochi. Oh, my bad. My bad. Okay, so we have no other details on this car, but apparently somebody said that the engine would sound good. It sounds alright. But yeah, we got, once again, twin 4-carbs. We're not going to look at the interior because we don't want to dispel any ideas that this car might be a good-looking car. It's doing alright. It doesn't feel like the gears are particularly long. They're quite short, actually. We're in 3rd and we're reaching 100, so this actually feels quite nice. It's probably a fairly low-powered car. It's probably also fairly cheap, to be honest. Oh, dear God. Has that affected our steering? I don't know. We'll see. Let's keep driving it like this. Hey, I'm just sleepy. It doesn't mean I don't do, doesn't mean I do drugs. I'm just happy today. All right, sure. Just your spelling and grammar was not great. I feel like this is a 1950s car with the tires and everything, even though this is a 1940s body. These are clearly crossflies as well. So if you just treat the crossflies like the way they're meant to be treated, like do all your braking before the corner, you're going to be much happier with this car. Let's refresh it, because the suspension is bugged. What the hell? That first gear is actually not that short. It's like second gear doesn't do anything. Let's not keep going around. Let's go down there instead. That looks a little bit more interesting than what we're going on currently. A little bit more verticality, probably more corners and stuff. We shall see in a second. Okay, so going downhill, it almost feels better, except for the fact that the brakes lock up way too easily on the front. Or is it on the rear? It's hard to tell. It might just lock up all around. Yeah, no. Locks up on the front way too easily. So I'm not a big fan of that. We do have discs all around, which I would like to say is not probably common on a 1950s car. Let's have a quick look at the brakes. So on the fronts, we don't have all-wheel drive, thank God. We have, oh God, okay. We have... Why? Why do we always see 3-piston brakes on every car? Why is... Am I being trolled? Are you guys trolling me? Why? Why always 3-piston? Jesus Christ. And then on the rear, we have 3-piston as well. Why? They'd probably be drums, actually. Ah. He added muffler to the car. Sure, okay. Sure, buddy. I'm Polish, and my English is not the best, so yeah, I'll make some mistakes here and there. Okay, fair enough. But I am dyslexic, so it's going to make me a problem. Get trolled? Yeah, I feel like I'm getting trolled. That... Alright, I'm actually about to open up channel memberships on my Discord. One of the, whatchamacallits, emotes is going to be 3-piston brake caliper. That's going to be one of the emotes. By God, it has to be. This is a thing. Oh dear. Alright, let's keep going left around this road and just have a little bit more fun with this. Because if you're soft and easy on the brakes and don't lock up in the corners, this car actually feels quite nice. You just have to be careful because locking up is super incredibly easy and not something that you want to accidentally have happen. I'll read what you've written in a minute. I saw something about smoking weed, which I would class as a drug. Alright. Fairly decent. I do like the car. There's some questionable design decisions, especially the interior and those front headlights. The rear taillights don't look great, but they do seem like the sort of thing you would see. So I do like the rear taillights. I do like the rear bumper. It just kind of looks like a nice car. Just don't look at the interior. The interior hurts it significantly. As for the feel of the car, it feels like a sketchy old car. So I like that. I'm going to give this car... Hold on. Is this mid or rear engine? It is rear engine. Okay. So, I love also the wheels. I don't know why. It's like a very simple thing, but they are fitted so perfectly to the design of the car that I'm gonna give this car like a 6.5. So the feel is pretty good. The realism is absolutely BS and nowhere near it. I get the feeling that they didn't set the car year and this is just a 2012 default year. That's how they were able to get 3-piston brakes on this thing all the way around. It's nice. I hope that that's cross-plies, because it feels like cross-plies. If this is not cross-plies, then you've done a terrible job of this car. Oh god, that was my fault. Like, generally with these sorts of cars, it's your own fault. But then again, the cars were so on edge that your fault is going to be very often. I mean, I smoked weed today, so that might be a reason I'm happy. I don't smoke people. It's not good for you. Sure, okay. I've never really done drugs, not really interested in doing them either. I was just kind of commenting more on your jokes than anything else. It's all fine. I'm not dissing you. Just my inability to understand what people write sometimes. My grandma died to smoking. Oh, that's not great. Isn't it illegal down under? Marijuana? Yes. Very illegal. Like, recently, after America made it legal, it became more illegal. In South Australia, at least. It's so stupid. I don't get our government. Lamau GG. Or you don't like it. He replicated a Porsche. I don't think so. I don't think this is a replica of a Porsche. I think this uses a Porsche body, but there are a few that use similar designs, like the Volkswagen Beetle and stuff like that. Because they were designed by the same person. So I like it, but there are many improvements that can be made. One of which have that year set correctly, have old skinny crossplies actually do the work to make an old car work properly, and fix that interior, please! But yeah, like a 6.5, because it is fun to drive. It is a fairly pleasant car on the road. What do we got next? Next we have, this big behemoth. I'm joking too. Hey, Chris Games, welcome. Just spreading the happiness all around. All right then. Gear as well. Yeah, sure, okay. But isn't that Volkswagen? Did I say only Beetle? Did I? Whatever. Making people laugh, at least trying. Sure, okay. Now. The Chrome car. What the hell? That's not what I pressed. I pressed Shift-C. Thank you very much. Is that there before? I think this is a new glitch. No? That looks like it's actually meant to be there. Weird. I suppose I did only look at it from this side? No, even then. I think that's meant to be badging that hasn't exported properly. So they haven't done, like, good testing, because they probably wouldn't have then had the chrome come out like it has. So let's double check the... Yeah, the grill is mostly blocked off. So I'm guessing this is meant to be, like, EV or something. Let's have a look. What is the name of the car again? The QR Motorsports VRD Sports Combi. So it's meant to be, like, Volkswagen? So, this is a first from this person, I believe. Cruffelens. Thank you for the car. No details on it apart from QR Motors VRD Sports Combi, a 470 horsepower premium performance wagon. So maybe it's not EV. So I don't understand why the grill is all blocked off then. Let's have a look. I believe this one is in Discord. We can have a look at what it's actually meant to look like. Car files for testing. Damn it, I don't have the right thing set. So let's go ahead, Control C on that. Control V. Okay, so we have one picture for this car. And what is it? Yeah, okay, so the chroming is an issue. I don't think they have BeamNG, otherwise they probably would have done something to fix this. Yeah, those are badges. Is that meant to be a vent? Did I miss that? Oh, there is a vent there. And I don't see the front end. So I don't actually know what the front end is meant to have. I will say this thing looks considerably better in automation because this has all come out washed out white. I think if you want to resubmit this car for me to just look at least the styling of it, I would be down for that. But as it sits, that is not good in BeamNG, which is the only version of the car I have. That reminds me of an Audi. It does a little bit like the Volkswagen Audi group sort of design. Did you test the F1 car yet? Yes, I did. And it was scary fast. It was very fast. Taken from the back, it was ballistic. What? What's taken from the back? Anyway, who was it that made this skin? Oh, whatever. It was some new person that I don't recognize the name of. Anyway, traction control is working overtime. The body is very wallowy as well. You can see there, like, look at that. That wobble is real. But not so bad, not so bad. The traction is okay. It's it feels a little too front heavy, unfortunately. I feel like it could do with maybe less drive on the front. Yeah, so this is all-wheel drive. It could probably get away with not being all-wheel drive. We do have 2 pistons in the front as well. Going to 1 piston does actually reduce the weight of the vehicle at the front, so that will help a little bit with understeer. I feel like it understeers a little bit too much. What do we got in here again? Yeah, that's right. A big 6-cylinder. 470 horses of it. So, it feels like a soccer mom's car. Yeah, no, the braking during cornering is horrific. It just immediately washes out wide if you try to brake mid-corner. Look at that! So, let's not touch the brakes to go around the corner at all. And we have a dual clutch transmission, so it's probably quite a costly car. I'm gonna guess that this car probably costs somewhere around $80,000. Ah! Impact detected, stopping car. Yeah, nah, screw you. This is not a good handling car. But then again, most SUVs aren't, though they say it's a wagon, but it really handles like an SUV. This car is atrocious. Let's take it somewhere else. It understeers way too much. Let's take it to Automation Test Track. Like, the definitive place where you can test out a car under extreme circumstances. Because the Automation Test Track is not a racetrack, by the way. It is a track to test cars harshly. That's why a bunch of the corners are off camber. It's deliberate. It's meant to be like that. Someone reminds me of a Volkswagen Passat. I mean, a little bit. I can kind of see what you're talking about there, about the Passat. Still lurking and playing automation myself. Rick Becker's, alright, cool. Let's try this one out. Let's turn traction control off and start again. Gearing is really short, but there's also a lot of gears. Okay, no, understeer, 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 understeer. Understeer, understeer, understeer. Oh, God. Alright. Let's see if we can fix this. So, front wheels, front double wishbone, front bracket beat, no. Transmission. Turbocharger front. I can't actually remove the front differential in the automation things. I've never tried to do it before, so it's my first time ever looking at it. Just toe in angle. We want toe out on the front. Hopefully that'll help. Front tire pressure. We're going to reduce that as well to help us give more traction there. 4-speed back. We don't have a wheel set up, so we'll leave that as it is for now. Okay. Hopefully this thing becomes a little bit more responsive understeering. It's not going to help the... there we go. That has helped significantly. There we go. The car turns. It's not going to help under braking, though. The braking is still going to be an issue. But at least we can now take corners at like a decent speed. Though, that is an excessive amount of toe out. You would not want that on a street car because it would become uncontrollable. Yeah, brakes are still not great. I knew I wasn't solving the brakes issue. And I'm also using like the A button for handbrake because that's what it is over in Forza Horizon 5 and I've been getting used to that game a lot. Ah! Oh god. Oh, the jankiness all over the place. I don't know why you've written some. Anyway. It is still only like the amount of toe out that actually happens is very minimal. So when I say some, and it's 100%, that's because the toe out is, like, you can barely see the toe out on the front. Alright, no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to do a good Bavarian bend. We have to slow down a lot for it. We were able to save and keep it off the wall, even though I did stuff up the corner entirely. Okay, let's refresh, because I don't want to have the suspension geometry messed up, because we're going to be coming around through Kilrop Chicane. This is not so bad. What is it, Lollipop? Popsicle. Popsicle the next corner. Popsicle's not so bad, but we're going to then come up to Adam's Apex. And Adam's Apex will tell me whether I've fixed this car or not. Because Adam's Apex will catch out every heavy car that doesn't handle well. You know what? That is not the worst handling car in the world. With the toe out and the reduction in tire pressure to add traction to the front, I think this car has actually become pretty decent. Now, as it stands with its chromium and all that sort of stuff, the badging not working, and the chronic understeer that you had the car with, the car would have gotten like a 3 out of 10. Because it's just got no redeeming features whatsoever. But with the fixed suspension, the little tweak that I just did, this car goes up to like a 6 out of 10. Because it's actually quite fun to drive now. Other than that, yeah, no. I would like to see you fix this car up and submit it again. Let's move on to the next and final car. Oh yeah, let's turn on the Le Mans mod for this. Is it this one? That doesn't seem right. Something seems wrong there. I don't think this is a good song either for this stream. We'll change that in a second. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that was the wrong map. No. Show terrain? Pikes Peak lighter. I should probably have that turned on anyway. Nordschleifer, we'll leave that for now. Aldercote Hill Climb. Ah, there we go. Le Mans. Why was that not showing up? Whatever. Now. It should be here. There we go. Le Grand Circuit 1967. I'm finishing my Le Mans car right now. Oh, interesting. This is an old Le Mans, not a new Le Mans, so probably not a one-to-one comparison if you're going to be using a more modern car. If you want me to test it on a modern Le Mans track, make me a modern Le Mans track and I'll do it. If anybody can rip the files for Le Mans, like a more modern version of it, like all the 3D modeling, the ground plane and all that sort of stuff, I can easily put that into BeamNG for you. But as it sits, we don't have it. I want to get the Bathurst track, but I keep forgetting to get the Bathurst track. Or Mount Panorama, if you want to be a bit of a prat about it. Why is this taking so long to load? Usually it's not actually... There we go. Yeah, I was thinking, like, it doesn't usually take that long. Alright, bringing out the final car. This is the Williams LM66. So, it's pretty close to the year that we're on. Just a reminder that this channel does exist. but it hasn't been used in a very long time. If you guys have liked the stream, go ahead, tap that like button, double tap it. No, don't do that. That'll actually undo it. Anyway, let's go ahead. And now, what are we on? What's it called? Oh, the LM66. Here we go. Okay, so this was given to me as a .zip, which means that they could have gone and fixed in the chroming issue if they had BeamNG and noticed it and done anything about it. Oh, this is FlameZ. This is your car. We're now going to be doing your car. Okay, so do you know how to fix this chroming issue? Because what you should have done was... I mean, I'm assuming this is a really old car, actually. Is you should have made the color matte finish and not a shiny finish. And then it would have exported properly with the color that you wanted. Unfortunately, you must have used this on an old exporter because it's come out chrome. So this must be in a really old car. Unfortunately, it doesn't look great because of it. Hey, Tiara's back. So it's Le Grandpa. What year is the Le Mans car you are testing? This one, I believe, is meant to be 1966. And the likes just jumped from 18 to 23. Oh, nice. Thanks, guys. Subscribe also. Unless you're already subscribed. Then create another account and subscribe again. Anyway, moving on. I shall one-up you and triple tap the like button. All right, that works, I suppose. All right, so this is a 966 Le Mans car. I believe that's meant to be 1966. I may have copied that incorrectly. That was designed to take part in the 24-hour Le Mans and to act as a car the Williams F1 team would have had if they had have joined. I don't know if Williams F1 had existed back then. Let's do a bit of Googling on that. Williams Grand Prix... Yeah. No. Yeah, 1977 is when it was formed. Even that seems a bit early. No, that's late 70s. That does sound about right, because I remember they started to become a thing in the 80s. So yeah, that's about right. So 1966, I don't believe they existed. Anyway, I'm excited to try this one out. Let's have a look at the details on this. I believe this has minuscule brakes as well. Alright, after cooked dinner, we'll watch the remainder of that later. Have fun, all of you. Cheers. Alright, catch you later. I am 3 Firebird. And now, let's have a look. We have double wishbone suspension, tiny 1-piston brakes. That could be a problem. We shall see. Got twin turbo. I don't believe turbos would have existed back for this year of car. What was it, the 9 whatever? 916, is that the body that this is? No, that's not it. Not the 919 hybrid. Porsche Motorsports. I cannot remember what the name of the body is. Let's see if we can't find it here. Okay, the Porsche 917. There we go. Porsche 917. So this was designed initially in the 70s, so we're a little bit out of date there. And then the turbo was in 1969 for the first one. Probably failed miserably. But yeah. I'm assuming the turbos wouldn't have lasted. If Can-Am... Were they endurance races? I can't remember. Anyway. 917... Wow, everyone responded 917. How long before it combusts or fly off into the stratosphere Mercedes style? This? No. So the Mercedes, I know which crash you're talking about, the Mark Webber and whoever the other guy was. That was due to... frick, what was that? Aero. that was actually a problem with having too much aero, and the way in which the aero was overhung on the front and the rear, causing the body to go, and then once it lifted just enough, coming over a ridge with a little bit of air flowing in the wrong direction, causes the car to lift up, and then you start doing backflips. 1957, oh! Is it 1957 the big crash as well? Oh. The Mercedes had large overhangs. Yes, it did. The turbo Can-Am basically killed Can-Am for being too OP. Yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. That is the end of that playlist. Let's move on to the next page of it. Okay. Let's give this car a bit of a try once we get it under control. It wants to be super sketch. It wants to oversteer. Okay. That's a problem. Let's have a look where the engine is. I kind of want to bring out mine now because I made mine convertible. This is fun. It is mid-engine, but it is a very short engine. And probably big because it's so short. To make up for the fact that it's not got 12 cylinders. All that weight is towards the rear. Also, it's very light, this car. Ah! Okay. Flamesy, did you test this? If so, which map did you test it on? Because I might take it over to that map and not this map. Because this map at the moment is not doing particularly well. Alright, let's try being a lot softer on this thing. It becomes super sketchy. Ah! Okay, you know, that is uncontrollable. Even with a steering wheel, that is uncontrollable. That just can't be controlled. Also, these did actually have aero, the 917s. Control T. Okay, we have... What the hell? Okay, that's a weird anomaly. I have never seen that before. I've seen some messed up meshes before, but that is weird. And cool. I wonder if that would actually add downforce. It might. No. No, actually, that would only cause drag, unfortunately. Then on the front, we have little mini winglets. I see them in there. They do come back a fair bit, but they're not real aero. That is... Is that aero on the front? Yeah, that is a hidden wing. So it does have aero on the front. But then on the rear, we have... no aero. Yeah, you actually have no rear wing. Okay, so... that's why it becomes super sketch, because the thing has front aero, no rear aero. Throttle control it? Are you kidding me? This thing has front aero, no rear aero. That means the faster it gets, the more dangerous it becomes. That was actually an uncontrollable accident when it goes over the ridge. No, it's being a Mercedes, but it's being a Ferrari and doing the Spinelli? What? Spinala. I don't know what that means. Anyway, the front is lifting. More like the whole car is wanting to lift, but it's being held in the front, but then the rear has no traction. I think it was an automation test track. It's better to throttle control it due to no traction control. I believe it can fly. I forgot rear aero, sorry. Yeah, no, fair enough. I do like the car. I wish you kind of had exported it correctly for the colors wise. And I wish it had rear aero as well. Hey, fans, you've come here for like a last little bit of a test of the final car. Well done. Though then again, for you, it's still really early in the morning, much like it is early in the morning for me, too. I don't know anything about race cars, man. Yeah, no, that's fine. I have a few videos on it. I could give you some reading material. So the Williams LM66, let's try that again. You just woke up at this time of day or night? Weird. All right, let's try this thing around here. So coming around the first corner. See, that's our throttle control. That is lift off, oversteer, to like snap oversteer levels. This, oh. It should not be oversteering this much at this speed. That is unfortunate. Are these crossflies? I hope they are. Because these things would not have radials back in the day. Radials didn't become a racing tire until the 80s. 6:15 a.m. Oh, okay, so it's not so bad for you, but still, that's really early in the morning. Slow it down for Ban Hammerhead, and around we go again because of the imbalance of the car. That was now nothing to do with accelerator. That was all to do with braking and an imbalance in the car. That was not error related either. I think with a steering wheel, most of these I'd be able to handle. Other things in this are just uncontrollable though. Like it's just a twitchy oversteer mess. Now we're coming up to Slingshot, where we're going to slow down. Oh god! Ah, no, okay, well that was a bad idea. Yep, no. As the car stands with its export issues and the fact that the thing handles like garbage, this car gets a 2 out of 10, I'm sorry. But if you fix that oversteering issue, I think the front tires are too big as well for how far back that engine is. Let's quickly refresh this. Control N. How much does this car weigh? Weighs 862 kilograms. And there's nearly 100 more kilograms in the rear than the front. That is significant. And there's going to be a lot of work involved with balancing that out. Unfortunately, you just haven't done it yet. They are crossflies? Good, okay. Then I'll bump you up to a 3, because crossflies are correct. Good choice. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I can't give this car a good score. It's just not there yet. I would like to. Unfortunately, just no such luck as of yet. Though I do love this car body. I like that you've chosen it. I like that you've brought it out. All that sort of stuff. I would love to try this car on Le Mans if you had it fixed. So feel free to resubmit this car if you want me to have a look at it again. I would like you to submit it again because I do like this car body a lot. Should you make an old Le Mans car? Sure, go for it. I think they're cool. Again, another car I used for learning curve. Okay. How do you toggle those different nodes? Control N. You cycle through it. One of them is weights. So that's on weights at the moment, and then it shows a very faint number up. Shows a very faint number up here of how much the car weighs. So we'll just put that back for now. Okay, cool. Hold on. There we go. All right, so that is today's stream. I did like this car. Unfortunately, there was just too many problems with it. That Formula 1 car, though, that was insane. Also, Control-T to bring up collision mesh. This Formula 1 car. Let's try the low power. I just want to drive it around in low power for a little bit. This thing was insane. Absolute winner of the day. Of the stream, this is just the best car. I feel like traction control is a little too harsh right now. Oops. Oh. There's more traction control. Anyway. How do you toggle through those different nodes? I saw that. Okay, good. I'll definitely revisit my car. I would like to see that car come back again. Anyway, it has been fun. Especially with the phenomenality of this car. I think this thing could do with like a little bit better aero balance, and you probably wouldn't need so much traction control. But the traction control is absolutely amazing, so I forgive. I would actually suggest you guys give this car a try. It is on the BeamNG repository, done by the Crysic Ben, or maybe just the Crysic. I'm not sure. There is a link to it in the Discord if you want to try looking it up, though. This Formula 1 car, made entirely out of 3D fixtures, like just in a collection of parts. It's so good. So amazing. Really well done. I appreciate all your work. But now we're going to start saying goodbye to everybody so then we can get to my special outro. So, thank you, FlameZ, for coming by. Thank you, Space Warrior, for coming by. Thank you, Uncle Vens, even if you are only here for the last bit of it. Who else we got here? Thank you, Ishan. You have been here the entire time. This has been a 3.5 hour stream. You have been here a long time. Thank you, Yash, for coming by. Thank you, Crownless, for coming by. Who else we got here? Thank you, Jumbo Jacob, for coming by. Thank you, I Am 3, for hanging around for the longest of times. Thank you, TR673, for coming around for the longest time. Crownless, Rick Beckers, Chris Games. Who else we got here? Barrett Oliver, you hung around for quite a while. And we'll do one or two more. Greyleaf Gaming and Benjamin. Thank you for coming by. Oh, and also Benjamin for the car. This, I believe, is Benjamin's car. It really... wait. Has it really been? Doesn't feel like 3 hours? Aw, thank you. But yeah, that will be it for now. And let's get you ready for the outro. The absolute piece de resistance that is not copyright infringing at all because it is fair use. For those people that are reviewing this, fair use, stop committing fraud and holding up your thing. For now, I'll catch you next time. Hold on, let's get ready for this. Goodbye.
No.
I'm sorry,
No!
John. I'm sorry.
No, it'll be okay. Stay with us. It'll be okay.
I have to go away.
No, don't do it. Please, don't go.
I must go away.
Viewers.
No! No, wait. Wait, you don't have to do this.
Sorry.
No, don't do it. Don't go.
It has to end here.
I order you not to go. I order you not to go. I order you not to go.
I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do. Goodbye.
Oh, hey,